Small talk, off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush. Cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got wealth. But I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet, then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere, you wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite, that's alright. Not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks, can't keep me out cause I pick locks. They hearing me knocking, I'll never be stopping. I keep this shit popping like lip gloss.
All right. Lots and lots of things going on in the world of sports. This is Unscripted. Logan Landers is at the Braves game. I don't know why you'd pass up Unscripted to go to a Braves game. All they're going to do is lose. You can see that on ESPN. But, hey, if you want to waste your money and go out there and get the seats and pay for that overpriced concession stand and beer, hey, knock yourself out. But I think me and Gonzo, we're going to stay home and watch our respective sports right here where it's free. Anyway, Gonzo, good to have you on the show, man. Always, you are now a staple of the show. And you're like my Monday, Tuesday, Thursday guy. And I know you got wrestling on your Saturdays, but it's good to have you here, my brother.
I appreciate you guys having me. I'm actually watching baseball from home right now.
Man, my baseball game don't start until about I think the Astros come on at 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Joey Votto just hit a 3-run home run in the first inning and give the Reds an early lead.
So what's up with the Reds, man? Are we turning it around?
Well, they got off that terrible start where they won 1 out of their first 21 games. Then in the month of May, they were one of the best teams in baseball. It was like 16-7. But then the first week of June, they played terrible until last night. They won, and then they were 1-4 over their last 5 games going into last night. They won last night, and they got off to an early lead tonight. So they're playing better than what they were, but they'd have to go on a remarkable run to even try to get back in any kind of playoff position or anything. You can't get off to that terrible of a start.
Hell no, but you know what? Hey, but you can always bounce back. And I think the Reds
and then the Reds are kind of opposite as the Angels. The Angels fired their coach today. The Angels got off to a great start. We're 10 games over 500, and then they've lost 12 in a row, where the Reds won like 2 of their first 23 games. And then we're definitely
going to talk about them. We're going to be talking about Trout, and then we'll probably talk about the skid, the firing. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about, especially when it comes to the Angels. You know what? One thing is interesting to me, and still is interesting to me, is the fact that the infield shift is going to go away next year, and I'm still not exactly excited about that. I don't like the fact they're going to take away a defensive strategy to a baseball team or take away out of the coach's arsenal. What do you think about them getting rid of this shift?
I don't like that they're getting rid of it. The only thing I would have changed about the shift is the infield players should have to stay in the infield right there at the edge of the grass. Other than that, I don't care where you're at. I just don't like when they're playing like 5 outfielders. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do and I don't. I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
like if you want to play a guy behind, you want to play 2 guys.
When they do that, hey, you hit a butt. I guarantee you're a halfway decent guy. You're probably gonna make it to first. Matter of fact, I almost prefer that because if I got a fast guy, especially my leadoff guy, I got a pretty damn good shot at getting to first base and then hopefully get him around the horn.
Yeah, but I don't like that they're getting rid of it because I like the strategy, and baseball is a game of strategy.
It absolutely is a strategy.
You're taking away a big strategy. So I think it's wrong to get rid of it. Like I said, I've been the only thing that I kind of didn't like is you could get so many guys out in the outfield. But I think you should be able to play where you want to play. Basically, you should be able to move around. How big of an advantage does it give the defense? Not to me. To me, it gives the the defense some advantage, but not. It's not like it's 100% advantage because, like you said, hit the ball the other way. Don't be
exactly.
You're supposed to be professionals. Don't be a Deadpool hitters.
I mean, honestly, if I'm a manager of a baseball team, I'm probably going to try to start develop. If I'm a hitting coach of a baseball team, I'm probably going to start, getting my players to learn how to hit opposite of the shift, just so we can capitalize on it. So to me, it almost kind of would elevate the game from an offensive standpoint, because they're going to have to change their style of hitting in order to avoid the shift. So
now they are getting rid of that, putting the runner on second in extra innings, right?
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah,
I hope they get rid of that.
I mean, I get why they did it, but.
Well, here's my thing. If you want to put a runner on, put him on first base. But you're giving the offense too big of an advantage by starting the inning with the runner in scoring position.
Absolutely.
So that's why I don't like it. If you want to add a runner, put him on first base, and then it's not as big as an advantage.
And I know why they did that. They did that to speed up the game. That was what that was all about, was trying to speed up the game. But again, like you said, it really does give a lot of advantage to the offensive side of the ball rather than the defensive side. So I get what you're saying. Another thing is I wanted to kind of talk about was I saw where Dustin Johnson is living the PGA and staying with Liv. And it's interesting because he's making $125 million to play there with them. And to put that in perspective, Tiger Woods' entire playing career, not his endorsements, just his PGA money, came out to $121 million career. So how crazy is that he's going to be making more money than obviously the greatest golfer of all time outside of Nicklaus? How crazy is that he's going to be making more money than Tiger has?
I thought I misread it when I saw that earlier. I was watching TV and I saw that come up. I thought I misread it. I was like, really? He's going to make more than Tiger has in his whole career?
Yeah.
But have you seen the payout for that too?
Yeah, it's insane to me. Pride.
First place in the tournament gets $4 million. Last place gets $125,000.
You know why? Because it's overseas golf and it pays a lot more than that American golf does. That has a lot to do with it and how much money they have in background. So, but as you can see, Pride from Prideful Takes and ASAP has joined us today to talk some Celtics basketball. But real quick before we jump into the Celtics right at the rip, what do you think about this? About Johnson getting a bigger contract than what Tiger's made in his entire PGA career? And we're just talking about the PGA money or the golf money, not the endorsements, obviously.
You talking about Dustin Johnson?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. This is just me. I don't think it's anything crazy. I just think it's like, as more time comes, as the sport survives longer and longer, guys get paid more. That's just the reality of it, right? It just sucks that right now, when the money's starting to get really, really good for not just golf, but it's starting to get even better for soccer. Especially more of the international sports, the money's starting to really come in. So it's just a shame that Tiger Woods, unfortunately, in his career, is on the down end of his career, where he's now really a part-time golfer, and there's a lot of pullouts from him because, we got to remember, he's had some injuries that, he starts feeling it when he has to walk the courses for long periods of time, and he starts to feel it. So I don't think it's anything too crazy. Congrats to Dustin Johnson for getting it. Hats off to him, but I just think it's a situation that, the longer sport is alive, the more those guys get paid. And
absolutely.
I don't think it's anything, so I don't think it's anything crazy. It's just, if you're a Tiger Woods super fan, you probably think it's unfair. But if you think about it, let's be honest here, when Tiger Woods was in his prime, golf wasn't bringing in as much money as it is now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's just my whole thing on it.
And that's the whole thing too. And obviously that number is kind of skewed for Tiger because, like you said, had he not had those injuries and he's playing in more tournaments and winning more tournaments because his body would have been physically able to, that number would have been much higher. So that number probably number one is skewed. But like you said, as the times change, so do the salaries. And every sport sees that. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like we were talking about that earlier, Aaron Donald, his $30 million contract, the sport has changed to reflect that. Back in, probably one of the best guys, Lawrence Taylor's day, they weren't seeing those kinds of contracts because the money and inflation hadn't got there yet. So makes sense.
Back in the day, some of them professional athletes would actually work second jobs.
Yeah, I guarantee if Lawrence Taylor was probably if he was playing the same time as Donald is, I guarantee you he's seeing every bit of that 30 million plus a year, just on how Lawrence Taylor played the game. It's crazy.
And that's exactly how I'm looking at the whole Dustin. Because like I've seen some golf forums where like people are basically saying, oh yeah, this is why Dustin Johnson is better, and it's like timeout, rewind, breathe, and relax. Like by that logic, like does that mean Rocky Marciano's a bum because he wasn't getting paid that much? No, it's just at the time that he was boxing, he wasn't getting that much. It's just simple. It's just simple inflation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's time to get into I know Pride is short on time because he's got things to do, but man, hey, here we go, folks. We're going to talk some Boston and Golden State. I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again today. Game 1 and game 2 are basically almost the same. It was just different quarters, but same result, right? Yeah, Golden State broke down in the fourth quarter. I think they got, 14 points, 15 points, whatever. And then you had Boston in the third quarter only getting like 14 points. So, it's almost like the tide had been almost reversed. And matter of fact, the score was almost even the same. It was not that far off. So, Pride, I said this, but, Rob said this on the show today, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards Tatum at all, but he said this on the show. He compared Tatum to Butler, and when we were talking about where Tatum fits in the scheme of, I guess, the levels of greatness in the NBA, right? The different tiers. And he kind of put him on Butler's category, which we've all said before that Miami was full of number 2 players. We kind of had Jimmy as almost like a number 2.
Nope, hold on, time out. Nope, I need to get in here. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But I mean this with the largest amount of disrespect. If you're gonna sit here and tell me that Jason Tatum is in the same category as Jimmy Butler, the answer is simple. You're a moron. You're an idiot. And you do not watch basketball. And I mean this with all due disrespect, because I've had this conversation before. Do you want to know what makes Jason Tatum a superstar? What makes him a superstar is the same reason why we call Luka Doncic a superstar. When buckets ain't falling, he does more. He looks and goes, all right, bet I can still get you rebounds. I can still initiate the offense. You got all that with Jason Tatum on top of that with defense. So don't, again, to sit here and say, oh yeah, because he's not a walking 30 ball every night, he's not a superstar. That is by far the most casual, unintelligent, and lazy take I've ever heard in my entire life. This playoffs, has Jason Tatum been a little consistent? Yes, of course, and I'm not. He deserves criticism for that. If you want to come at him for that, I have no problem, because he has been, and that's something he needs to work on. No debate. However, the difference between him and normal stars, and we saw it with Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy Butler's not giving you 40, the guy's a walking liability. You can't say the same thing with Jason Tatum. And if you do, you're an idiot. And again, I'm saying this with the most amount of disrespect possible. I'm not gonna entertain this idea that Jason Tatum is not a superstar when you look at other guys. For instance, Devin Booker. Why do we call him a superstar? Because not only is he a bucket, but when his bucket isn't coming down, when his bucket's not coming down, he still brings more to the floor. So again, how can we say that same thing about him, Luka Doncic? People say the same thing about Damian Lillard. Back when people were calling him it, people were saying the same thing about Ben Simmons, that even though he can't shoot, this guy brings still everything else. You still got to pay attention to him. What other superstars are there in the league? Karl-Anthony Towns, that's another one, because if his bucket's not falling, he's still a big man that you still need to respect, and he can still work on the low block, and he still has great defense. To all of a sudden look at Jason Tatum and to have the nerve to say something that uneducated, that stupid, that lowbrow, is by far the single reason why we have people like Stephen A. Smith bumbling on ESPN. That is the reason. Because people say stupid stuff. Yeah. Because they think it's
fun. I knew if I said that he would come.
I don't care if he's here. I don't care. I'm gonna continue. That is by far completely uneducated. Point blank, period. And Rob, I'm telling you this right now. Understand something. And I mean this, and this is coming from a
with all disrespect.
Hold on. No.
Say it.
Rob, I'm about to, Robert. I'm about to. This is coming from a place of love. But Rob, so God help me, I am not listening to you. I'm not even trying to be mean, but to sit here and say that, but then what makes him a superstar? And I said this before, that when he's having his poor nights, what else does he bring to the table? Literally every other thing that you look for in a superstar. Literally everything else that you look for in a superstar. He's for a guy who can't play make, is a great playmaker. For a guy who supposedly is too big for his position, can play lockdown defense 1 through 4. And he can even hang with big men. For a guy who all of a sudden is too scared to be in the paint, can nab rebounds. like again, if your logic that he's not a superstar is just because he's been consistent in these playoffs, and by the way, I'm not saying he hasn't been. In these playoffs, he's been extremely inconsistent, and that's something he needs to work on. So if you want to criticize him for that, I have no problem whatsoever. However, don't you dare disrespect him by putting him in Jimmy Butler category, because if Jimmy Butler isn't giving you 46, what is he doing? He's getting outplayed by Tyler Hero. Point blank, period. The same Tyler Hero that swears he's going to be making a big bag as a starter. Never seen a dude more delusional in my time. So I don't want to hear any of that disrespect. Now, you can go ahead and go on whatever soliloquy you want. At the end of the day, you're still going to be wrong. So you go ahead and say what
This
you
was
want.
the debate I was hoping for the last time around. Let's go.
Jason Tatum is a superstar. Point blank, period. I don't want to hear no slander on his name. The only thing I will let you get away with is you saying he's been too inconsistent. He needs to work on that. If you say that, I'm not going to argue. That's the only thing I will not argue about. Outside of that, don't hold me nothing like that. Because when Luka Doncic, game 1, was playing like poo-poo, I still called him a superstar. Why? Because you said, look what else he did on the floor. So I don't want to hear nothing where all of a sudden, now that it's Jason Tatum, now y'all want to switch the category. You got to pick one. And if you don't want to pick one, it's fine. Just say you don't like talking about superstars. Because Jason Tatum is a superstar without a shadow of a doubt. And if you don't think so, basketball not in your wheelhouse. The floor is yours, sir.
I'm more around Pride.
Rob, I gotta be consistent.
No, you know it ain't nothing but all love. I touched a little sensitive area, didn't I? You don't like that Jason Tatum, hey, do you?
A little sensitive. Yo, you told me to bona fide bitch. What do you mean sensitive? yo, Rob, I'm tearing up right now. I'm tearing up.
Don't tear up, man.
I'm tearing up. My boss was looking at me. She looked at me. She thought I was crying.
It's all right, bro. You know why I said what I said earlier?
No.
It's not about his skill. I don't question Jason Tatum's skill. He can score the ball. He's a good playmaker, like you said. I'm not gonna go say great, but he's a good playmaker.
No, he could play.
He's a great defender. That's where he's at. But you know why I said what I said earlier? I question Jason Tatum's motor, man.
I knew it.
I know he wants to channel the great Kobe Bryant, and that's his favorite player, but he ain't built like that. And he hasn't shown it in these playoffs. He hasn't shown it against LeBron. We got to stop giving him the excuse that he's young. He's experienced now. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals quite a few times. And he just now getting over the hump. And to be honest, they lucky they not down 2 games. The Warriors threw it. They got cocky. They overlooked the Boston Celtics. You see what happens when they come in focused.
Time out, rewind. Hold on.
They got cocky.
No, hold on, time out.
They saw Steph catch the Holy Ghost in the first quarter. They said, we got this in the bag. Who? Celtics, who?
Time out. You literally, I'm going to tell you this right now, you literally just contradicted yourself. Because if experience is all that matters, Golden State would.
No. I'm saying we got to stop making excuses. I'm saying he is experienced now. We can't keep saying he's a young dude. He's gonna eventually get it. He should get it. You've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times. Pride, you on mute. Unmute yourself. I want to hear your response, your rebuttal. Do you have to calm down? I'm not trying to. Pride, don't take it personal, man. We just having a good debate.
I love you. Rob, I love you. Don't worry. I love you. But here's my thing, right? The only thing you can really knock on is the fact that in terms of his buckets, at times he's been inconsistent, which I said from the beginning at the top. What did I say? Yep, inconsistent, and I'm not going to give him that pass. That's my thing. But if you got a Reeves talking about, I don't know his motives. What?
I'm questioning that motive because we've seen motive can be issues. When you ain't built like that to go like that, I don't care how skilled you are. You look at James Harden, greatest player in the world. If he had that motive,
that's absurd.
He would have been probably one of the greatest in the NBA.
Smoking herbs.
He would have been one of the greatest in the NBA if he had that motive. That's why we question DeAndre Ayton, right? We're not questioning his skill as a big man. We question his motive. I'm questioning Jason Tatum's motive as a big man. We see he didn't close out those games he needed to close out in Boston. You don't go back to Miami for a game. We in that in Boston. We had them on the ropes. We stole their heart away, and he couldn't get the job done. All the momentum in the world is on you. You have a great first quarter against the Warriors. Game 2, you got all the momentum in the world. You here in the NBA Finals, and what happens? He disappears.
Are you done?
So Rob,
I'm questioning his motive.
Josh Bailey has Tatum ranked in the top 10 in the NBA right now.
He is.
I'm just asking the question. Is that
no? Jason Tatum. Look, I'm not trying to shortchange the man because I think Jimmy Butler one of them dudes. But when we say superstar, I think we get too loose with the word superstar. That's me.
No, I might no.
We getting too loose with that word. Everybody can't be a superstar. You got some stars, and then you got superstars. I don't think Jason Tatum is a superstar. He ain't proved it to because being a superstar means consistency. You can't contradict yourself and say, he been inconsistent, but I still look at him as a superstar.
In these playoffs, yes, he's been a little inconsistent. Now, name me a player who has not had a stretch in the career where they've been inconsistent. Like, what are you doing? Hold on, time out. And again, you want to talk about contradiction. You just said he's not a superstar, but could then say he's a top 10 player.
You could be a top 10 player without being a superstar.
Rob, you're literally bumping.
Name me 10 superstars in the league then. Name me 10 superstars. Everybody ain't a superstar.
Anybody top 10 is a fucking superstar. What are you talking? Yo, you got me picking my pants off.
It wasn't even top 10. It almost wasn't top 10 superstars in the All-Star game. You had some superstars and you had some great players.
What are you okay, is Steph not a superstar? And this is
Steph is a superstar.
LeBron James?
Yeah.
Giannis?
That's 2.
Joel Embiid?
4.
I'm at 4. Jokic?
5.
So that's 5, correct?
Yeah.
So
no pause, keep going. It should be 10, it should be easy to name.
Hold on. But that's 5, correct?
That's 5.
Okay. What about Luka Doncic? Your mic broke?
No, I'm thinking.
Rap? No, I want you to say.
I'm thinking. I don't know if I question him too.
Hold on. Luka Doncic?
Yeah, I'm questioning that.
I'm not doing this game. Moving on.
Why?
I'm moving on.
I think because you can't. You have a good regular season and you have a few good games in the playoffs. But if you steady getting eliminated, bro, and you not making it, I can't be so loose to say, man, that's a superstar, man. Like, what
again, if
you done? You a star? You a star? We didn't even start giving Giannis respect till he won a ring. We didn't start giving Giannis respect till he won a ring. They didn't mention Giannis in greatest player in the NBA until he got a ring.
Well, you got to figure Luka's a superstar because there's been lots of rumors that gone out there said that he's the future of the NBA or the face of the NBA. So you got to figure Luka's got to be that superstar conversation.
You know how many times somebody done been the face of the NBA and it don't quite work out like that, bro?
No, but I think it's working out for Luka. I think everybody
knows. And if he never wins a ring, do you think with the way Luka plays right now? First of all, you got to question what superstar want to play with him. Who wants to play with a ball dominant person? Who wants to play with that? And if that's the only way you can get off and get money, we ain't gonna win like that. So you being an individual stat stuff for dirt mean nothing. It's a lot that takes to being a superstar. Can you get the job done? Can you make people around you better? Can you win a big one?
People around him better.
He ain't won nothing big, bro. This Phoenix win was the best win of his young career.
But you gotta admit, come on.
So
I predicted it.
Rob, no. I deadass just had to get out of my job because I'm about to spaz. Rob, you're with all due disrespect, that is the worst take I've ever heard in my life. When the best guy on this man's team was an early second-round pick, and he drugged them to the Western Conference Finals. This man is making Jalen Brunson literally gonna go get a bag next year. Without him, I promise you, Jalen Brunson ain't getting nothing. Matter of fact, the Mavericks might cut him if it wasn't for Luka Doncic. Are you kidding me? He made Maxey Kleber and Powell a household name. What are you talking about?
Hey, you gotta win that ring, bro.
Nope, stop.
Gotta win that ring, bro.
Shut up with the ring stuff because that is pure stupidity.
That's not stupidity when we start talking superstar.
It is.
You want to know why stupidity when we start talking superstar?
I'm gonna tell you right now why it's pure stupidity. Because you're losing a legacy achievement to dictate a player's career right now, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
How many players' legacy is tainted right now because they don't have a ring? Look at the disrespect that Charles Barkley gets. People forget Charles Barkley was one of the greatest players to play the game. And look at the disrespect he gets. If he wins a ring, you think he gets that disrespect?
Yo, Jane Chris, you see what I just did to him? He ran into the point head first, is bleeding, went to the hospital, got stitches, and on the discharge paperwork, they told him why he got hurt by running to the point head first, and he still missed it. You named an inactive player, a player who can play no more. He can't. Charles Barkley can't play no more. That's where you stumbled, and you're falling into my point. A ring does not determine your status as a current player. That is the same thing as a Finals MVP. That is something you use 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road. For example, Paul Pierce before 08, everybody was calling him a bona fide superstar. They just kept saying he's got nobody. He's going to war with nobody, and that's why he's finishing horrible. That's why he's got horrible records. But if you watched him play, he was a bucket. But nobody was like, oh yeah, he's a bum. No one said that. Do you want to know why?
I mean, you can even look at Joker. Look how well Joker's back-to-back MVPs, and he don't even have a ring.
And nobody was, and for Giannis, nobody was saying, oh, he doesn't have a ring, he's a bum. No, and people were saying, yo, he needs a
Yes,
shot.
they were. Yes, they were, bro.
You have no idea what you're talking about, Rob. And I'm saying that's what I place up. You got no idea what you're talking about. Because
yes, they were. Maybe not to the extent of being a bum, bro, but every time Giannis' name was brought up, anything he couldn't do well was brought up, bro. Until when he broke through and had that great year and got the ring, bro.
You're smoking.
Now all of a sudden he don't need a jump shot to get the job done. You saw how that narrative changed? So are we no, his mid-range is okay, bro. What is Giannis known for? What is Giannis known for, bro?
He's still known for it, but everybody said, yo, look, if you want to take that extra step in your game, you need to have some form of shot.
They still say if you want to stop Giannis, build a wall. To this day. The same defensive mind on how to stop Giannis is still being said.
And guess what? They did it. And how did Giannis beat them? With a mid-range. Like, what are we talking about?
No, he beat somebody that didn't have a motor, bro.
Now it's motor.
He got down on a person that didn't have a motor. DeAndre Ayton wasn't nothing he could do with that boy. That was the reason I said Luka was gonna win, bro.
This is my problem. You're now saying Devin Booker don't got the motor. Fine. Let's say D Book don't got the motor. Chris Paul got the motor?
I don't think Devin Booker got the motor.
And again, this is coming from a dude who had the nerve to look at the camera and say Devin Booker is not a superstar, only to then change his mind 2 weeks later and say, "Oh, I apologize." And let me guess, he's back to a star. Come on, Rob, you got to do better.
Yeah, stop.
I'm not in this business where
I don't even know what Devin Booker and them gonna do with Chris Paul leave, bro.
A legacy is okay. It don't matter because did Chris Paul leave? So what if? So now what if?
We trying to bank our career on a 38-year-old point guard?
LA did it with a 36-year-old Bron. They got him a chip. So what are you talking
about? Yeah. Chris Paul ain't no LeBron, bro.
What are you talking about?
Come on, man. Did you just mention Chris Paul in the same breath as LeBron James?
The best point guard of all time, Chris Paul. I mentioned him in the same category as the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, and I love me some CP3. What is being the best point guard in the league got him? What has been the best point guard in the league got him?
Injuries and just pure luck. That's
and no rings.
So but you're making it seem like he's sold.
I'm not making excuses.
The implication is there.
I'm not making excuses.
You are by far on this day, Rob, and this is coming from a place where all do straight love. Rob, I've never seen a dude literally get a 60-mile-per-hour changeup straight down the middle and you're still whiffing. I don't understand that logic, brother. Because what you're now trying to do is you're going to say that Chris Paul, you're going to sit there and tell me that the reason Chris Paul lost wasn't because of injuries?
I understand
what are we talking about?
The record books don't care about that, bro. All we're gonna see at the end of the day when we talking about this years later is he ain't getting no rings, bro.
And you're right. And you ready to hear the funny part? With no rings, we still call him the greatest point guard of all time. So do me a favor and lick my toes. So I don't
call him the greatest point guard of all time.
And that's fine.
Not of all time. He's a top five.
You're right.
He's a top five.
And that's fine.
Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time.
Okay, that's fine because Magic Johnson was a center, but nobody want to talk about that.
Magic Johnson was a point guard. Go back and look at the roster.
You definitely know what you're talking about.
He reads a point guard.
As I was saying before,
he reads a point guard. He only played center in that first finals with the
Hold on, gentlemen. Hey, real quick. Hey,
go ahead.
Because we can go all day on this, but trust me, and y'all making some good points. But I want to kind of get more into this Boston and Golden State. Because I want to get you guys' opinions. Because like I said, this is a debate I've been waiting for. I want to get this.
Warriors at 5.
So here's the deal, Prime. You guys got outscored in the paint in game 2, 40 points to 24. Let me get the point. I'm just saying. So how do you handle that going into game 3, knowing that Robert Williams may or may not be there, and you may have to look at Horford? or Tice. So how do y'all handle that issue down low in the paint?
That's what I call an anomaly game. When is the last time we've ever seen Golden State care about the paint? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So all of a sudden we're going to be like, be careful now, because all of a sudden we done blink. They got a prime Dwight Howard on one end, and boy, they got a healthy Joel Embiid on the other. What are we talking about, bro? Look, it was a good win by Golden State. Boston turned the ball over at a ridiculous amount. I said it before. There's no way Boston Celtics can look in the mirror after turning the ball over 20 times and saying, damn, we should have won that. They didn't turn the ball 20 times. They didn't turn it over 20 times. Turned it over 18. You're not going to be able to turn the ball over like at the most you'll be able to turn the ball over is 15, and that's if Golden State is turning the ball over too. That's it. Once you start going 16, 17, 18, 19, you're now playing a very dangerous game, a game you're not going to be able to win because that's a lot of fast break transition buckets that when Steph has the ball, you got to remember, Steph's not the dude. Like if he sees you going to the paint too much and over command, instead of going, he'll stop and shoot the three. So you're now putting yourself in a very uncomfortable position. I will say this, however. I don't give a shit that we lost game 2. And I'm going to tell you why. The Celtics went in saying, as long as we steal one game at Oracle or whatever they play now, because they moved. It's not Oracle. The one time I started liking Golden State in some aspect.
It's Chase.
One time I started, it's Chase. The one time I started liking Golden State because they had a cool name, the Oracle. I liked it. Now then they moved. You know, I hate Steph. I hope he stubs his toe. You know what I mean? Hope he has a hangnail and he can't get it all off, man. I hope when he wakes up and he goes to do number 2, I hope his toilet gets clogged. But I hope it's pee though, because I don't want his house taken up. Hope it's clogged, man. I don't care. I hope one day his plumbing breaks in the most inconvenient way that his sink still works, but the power's not there. I don't give a shit. I don't like Steph, man. I hope not. Listen,
what did he do to you, bro?
He was born, man. That's it, man. Look, I'm not gonna wish death on him or anything like that. I wish pure that's how you know I hate somebody. When I don't wish death but inconvenience. Swear to God. I hope one day he's on the phone with his girl and there's some important news she got to tell him his phone's on 1% of the die. Swear to God, that's the type of hatred I have for him. So now the play's like he's just like mad nervous with anticipation. What you got to say? What good stuff happened? Swear to God, bro. I hope he wants his 50-inch TV and then he got a 48-inch. Swear to God, I don't like him. I want another inconvenience. Swear to God.
Hey, Gonzo, hey, this is what I'm going to say. Hey, Gonzo, look, one of the strengths on Golden State is not only do they have the experience, but they're a pretty damn deep team. I mean, even in their bench, they're pretty deep. And, you know, when a superstar has an off night, or even one or two superstars have an off night, you know, their bench can carry them in the series. And I kind of think we saw that a little bit throughout Golden State's playoff run. With Boston, I don't know if they're quite as deep, and they do have some injury issues. Do you think that's going to be an issue come game 3?
Now we're not quite as deep. Now we're not. Literally a month ago. Hold on.
No, you're not.
No, hold on. Again, now I gotta have the same energy I had for you, Jay. Again.
Hold on.
No, I don't care. I'm taking over for this segment only because I'm a lead pretty soon. But first and foremost, there's no way you're really going to say that. When a few months ago, we were talking about Grant Williams and who was going to pay him, talking about how he's going to get the bag. Doesn't he come off the bench? My bad.
No, but what I'm saying, when you look at this Celtics team to Golden State, you know Golden State has a deeper bench than Celtics do. And I think the Celtics have a deeper bench than Miami does.
Do they really, though? Like, if you guys are ready for this actual real-life conversation, like, the deepness on their bench goes as far as really only 2 players. Jordan Poole, who because of this phenomenal regular season he had, when Clay was out and he stepped in and this kid was going on his mind, it's him and then Peyton, and that dude is no offensive problem at all. It is more for his defense.
That's what he's there for. He did a pretty good job, I think.
They got Otto Porter.
Okay, and that makes – hold on, time out. Otto Porter makes your team deep. Come on now.
Off the bench, he's been playing great.
No, they can play great. I could go out there and pee on the court, and I play great for that bench. What are we talking about?
No, you can't. Nah. You ain't gonna discredit their bench, boy. They got Iggy.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Otto.
There are. I will say Otto Porter Jr. No disrespect.
They got my boy Bielitsa.
Bielitsa, who barely gets any burn, and when he does get burned,
and when he do, he a bucket.
Bro, Bro, my guy can't even spell bucket. He can't even spell bucket. What are we talking about? Like people trying to make it seem like Golden State's like the deepest team. No, they got a potential superstar in Jordan Poole. Let's see what happens if he, you know what I mean, next year, how he ends up going. But you got a potential superstar, and you got a great defensive stopper and Peyton II. Outside of that, ain't nothing on that bench you're gonna sit here and tell me makes them that deep. Like,
what's on your bench?
Like on my bench, the greatest number 11 that ever stepped foot in Boston. What we talking about?
Who, Pritchard?
What? Pritchard. Hey, yo, Pritchard. Listen, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get in trouble, but Pritchard get pussy, bro. I don't give a. You better watch.
Lord.
You better respect his name, bro. We got him. We got Grant. Robert Williams will come off the bench sometimes, and if he's not coming off the bench, who else is coming off the bench? Oh, right, that boy. What's his name? Oh yeah, Al.
You right. What's his name?
Has like a career respondent. By the way, I will continue to apologize because when we traded back for him, I was mad. I was cursing. I was like, what do we do? Every single time we talk Celtics, I have to apologize to Al Horford because he's been very vital to us. And I was mad.
Ooh, 2? That's what we call him now. 2 points?
That's adorable, bro. He has one bad game, and all of a sudden, that's how you think it's going to be. Where was this energy?
He's had a couple.
Al Horford been y'all saving grace, bro. I'm just joking, bro. I'm not
100. Listen, I'm not even going to argue.
Al Horford been out there dogging. I ain't going to lie.
So
I like the way he played against Giannis. He showed me something.
Yeah.
He said, so you going to scream in my face? All right, we on that.
But and see, I named 3 guys, right? 4 guys? Like
bro, your bench not that deep. You just naming names. I named names, and then you was like, no. And then you name names, and we're like, who?
Names that again, you're just babbling. But again, as I was saying before, I was so brutally interrupted. I'm going to say this. Stop making it seem like Golden State's bench is all of a sudden this overpowered juggernaut that nobody could stop. Because let's be honest,
they picked up when it counted.
But there's only 2 guys on that bench that's really carrying like that. There's only 2, and let's be honest. Jordan Poole, the only time he doesn't even lead the second unit because they stagger everybody. So there's at least 2 starters in the game at all times. Let that sink in.
And again, that's just because they're a deep team.
That's how you play, though. That's what you're supposed to do.
I love it. So your team is so deep, you need to leave both Steph and Clay in there to make sure you still got one outlet. What are we talking about? As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. Boston in 7. I don't care. When we win, I'll come around for an apology. I got Ime's number. I be FaceTiming him, and we be talking sometimes, you know what I mean? He called me a bitch one time, and I started crying. But then I called Jason Tatum to cry about it. He goes, nah, he do it to all of us. So then I felt honored. I was like, yo, wait, you call? I'm one of them now. So, you know, I got his number. So we be chatting. So when we win in Game 7, and the confetti falls down, and they send you flashback to 2016, when Goat Braun did his thing and had Steph crying like, I don't want basketball no more. And Clay was like, I'm so tired, I'm getting injured in a few years. And Donkey was just staring off into space. When the same thing happened, Game 7, and just both Jaylen Brown and Jason are in the middle and just staring at everybody, nodding their head, no confetti because they're all depressed. Got Golden State fans swapping jerseys because they're sad. And we win a ring, bro. And apologies. I'm going to be making them rounds for them apologies. I'm going to be making them rounds for the apologies. And I will have everybody sign a piece of paper. Apologize. I'll type it up for y'all. Won't be nothing crazy. I apologize. I didn't know what I was talking about. I apologize for doubting y'all. And Rob, you're going to sign 3 of them because you've been leading this bandwagon of hatred. You're gonna do 3 of them.
I don't hate the Celtics. You hate the Warriors, clearly. I don't hate the Celtics. I respect the Warriors.
I just hate Steph. I hate Steph.
I respect the Celtics. I respect them finally getting to the finals. I respect it. They just going against the wrong team.
I gotta clarify. I don't hate Steph, right? I hope next time he's on a road trip, he has no service on his phone against false. I don't care. But I hope he's got plenty of food and water. I don't want him to get hurt up there. But listen. And I'll just let y'all know, if the Warriors win, I'm taking a sabbatical. I've done too much shit talking.
Oh no! Hey! If the Warriors win, I want a personal invite on Prideful Takes, and I want to be there.
You ain't getting
and I cannot wait because they about to win 3 games straight. They winning both games in Boston. Then they gonna end them at Chase.
No, they're not. I promise
you know what? First of all, I hope my thoughts and prayers with Robert Williams because I saw that. Like I saw when Marcus Smart ran into. Oh my God, that looked
And
great.
guess what's gonna happen?
I hope he's great.
Game
I
three,
hope he's.
game 3, he's
I hope
chilling.
he's
Game
great.
4, he coming back, he dropping 30.
I hope he's great. Hey, I hope he's great. I don't wish
Period.
injury on nobody.
Period.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Period.
I hope he's good. I just think the Warriors. I don't think Boston has been strong at home during these playoffs. I think the Warriors can win both games in Boston. I think the Warriors actually are a pretty decent road team. Um, so I think they can get the job done. They're gonna at least get one in Boston.
Hey,
And
question.
No, I'm with you. Listen, they're
Wait,
gonna
hold on,
split. I think they're gonna have the
question.
same mentality that Celtics had going to Chase. That they're gonna be like, look, if we get both, great. But our job is to at the bare minimum split, so that when we go back to San Francisco, we at the bare minimum now we got home court advantage again. So now in these 3 games, they're going to see us at our home court twice.
not necessarily. No, you don't.
What are you talking about?
If it's 2-2,
Game 7's a
then the
Golden State.
Warriors, right? The Warriors got the home court advantage. But I'm saying if they got 2-2, then the Warriors got the home court advantage.
That's literally what I just said. Like,
I thought you said Celtics. My bad.
No. I said no. What I said is Golden State has the same mindset that Boston had going to go to.
Oh yeah, because then they got the home court advantage again.
Yeah, I'm like they just want to split. But for Golden State, the reasoning for them just splitting is like, look, if we split it, it is what it is. We still in the next 3 games, they got to play us on our home court twice. So they still got they still got home court advantage. So that's all to them.
I'm curious though, if Golden State was to pull off, the win in 5, and it still goes down 4-1, what does that mean for the narrative of this season for Boston and Tatum?
We're gonna be the second team in the history of the NBA Finals to come back from a 3-1 deficit and go to State, go be holding both them out. Listen, here's what's gonna happen.
I love your fandom, bro.
Oh, come on, bro. I got to be over the top fanboy. Come on. It's for entertainment purposes only. You know what I mean? Entertainment purposes only. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you got to understand, bro. You got to give me this. You got to remember, bro. It was hard to be a Celtics fan first half of the season. It was hard. It was hard to look at this team in the face. I went weeks without FaceTiming Jason Tatum. I couldn't look at him. I was upset. Marcus Smart called me and sent him a voicemail. I was treating Jaylen Brown like a side chick, bro. Like,
23 and 25 or something earlier in the
23
season?
and 24. We were 23 and 24. I was like, bro, it's rough. But because of my fandom kept me a Celtics fan. My fandom. I was like, you know what? I got to commit. It is what it is. I already, you know what I mean? You could call me Cody Rhodes because I got a Celtics tattoo on my neck. I don't know what I went through. I went through something bad. I put a neck tattoo on me, bro. I was going through it, right? I was like, all right, whatever. And all of a sudden,
hey, Brian, you're not the biggest Celtics fan in the world, though. There's actually a Celtics fan that has already tattooed the championship on his body that the Celtics are going to win. So if they don't win, he's screwed. So,
nah, if he does it, bro, Bless is already a profit. I need those lotto numbers. But I'm about to hop off, gents. I gotta head back in.
All right, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to y'all later. And Robert, do better, brother.
Hey, Pride, I need that invite on Prideful Takes.
Oh, you'll
After
get it.
we go. Hey, my bad, y'all. Hello. I didn't even say hi to y'all.
I've been waiting for this debate, Rob. This was the debate we were supposed to have had X number of shows back when before the season or the finals even started. So it's about time I got what I was asking for.
Hey, you know what? I'm actually happy because we got to talk a little crap while it's tied 1-1. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like that's when it gets a level playing field. I finally got you on here to reset the show.
No, I actually, Jay, I no lie. Our plan don't coming on. It's my train it just sat there on the track for a long time. Like literally, I had y'all. I'm watching y'all as I'm running up the stairs to get in the house and try to get a little semi-comfortable. And I just hear Pride's mouth, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna sit right here on this couch, jump on my phone before he had the chance to leave, just to troll him.
I know, man. Hey, listen, I know how them trains work. I lived in D.C. I know what it means to live your life on a train system. I did it for a long time, and you're at their mercy.
Yeah, and I work downtown, so it's more plausible to take the train. So I'm just listening to this man. I'm like, and I respect him. He really loves his Celtics, but sometimes you got to take your heart out of it. That's all.
Oh yeah.
I know as a fan that's hard to do. As a fan, that's hard to do. So I'm not mad at him.
Hey, it's hard for me to do it about Cowboys, but I've been doing it for 30 years, so I know.
Yeah, well, you know.
And Cowboys fans, we always get it the worst.
As a Bears fan, look at us, bro. We ain't been relevant since
No. Y'all don't get nearly as bad as the Cowboys do. I say I'm a Bears fan. People are like, "Oh, okay, you're a Bears fan." Watch it. I say I'm a Cowboys fan. It's like, "Oh, you're one of those." So,
well, I think being a Bears fan is just because the Bears is that hard hat lunch pail kind of team. When you think about the Cowboy, honestly, sometimes Jerry Jones does more harm than good.
I've been saying that for decades, Rob. I've been saying that for decades. You preach to the choir.
I love Jerry Jones, but sometimes he just gotta be the owner. Just be the owner. Take pictures, smile, and kiss the babies. That's all you need to do.
The best thing Jerry Jones could do would be to hire a general manager and let him run the team and just oversee the process. And
that's what I'm saying. Just be the owner. Just be
Robert Kraft. Just go do like Robert Kraft does. I mean, damn.
And quit doing a radio show every Monday or Tuesday morning and say either bury in your team or say it's something outrageous.
Just be the owner. When they say, Jerry, how you feel about the Cowboys? I own them. That's all you gotta say. I love my Cowboys. I own them. All right, have a good one. I gotta go make some more money.
Go out here on my $1 billion yacht.
I'm just saying. But I respect him. He can take his fandom to another level because he got the money to do so. And just like Batman, Bruce Wayne waking up one day and say, you know what? I'm rich enough to be a superhero.
That's the kind of rich I would love to see. Gonzo, you kind of heard Rob's take on this. You've heard Pride's take on this. What is your thought process? Number one, of the way the first two games have been played. And then number two, how do you see the rest of the series going forward? And do you think Tatum is a superstar?
Oh, man. All right. I think Tatum's a superstar, but I would put him right at the edge of superstar. I don't believe Devin Booker's a superstar myself. I think Devin Booker's more just a star. But with the Warriors and Celtics game, I have the Warriors in 6. That was what I said before the series started. Honestly, the Warriors could be up 2-0. They don't have that. They don't have that terrible fourth quarter. They were controlling that game until about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then I think they went into cruise mode too quick. And so I'll still say 6 games. I like the Warriors offense. The Celtics defense I thought would have an advantage because of physicality, but the Warriors have done a good job not to let them get real physical with them. Well, for one, I think it was Draymond Green getting in the Celtics' head during that game too. He had them all pissed off. And then the other thing is Steph's killing them on the high pick and roll. The Warriors aren't even, and it's not even ball movement right now. It's the Warriors ball movement that's killing the Celtics. It's been the high pick and roll and the isolation with Steph. And I thought if the Warriors got in that kind of game, that would favor the Celtics. But the Celtics trying to go under that pick and roll, they're going to start going over the top, or Steph's going to burn them every time.
And I think Pride kind of overlooked the importance of what Peyton brought to the Golden State Warriors in Game 2. Now that he's back, he did a hell of a good job on that defensive end. And even though he may not have scored all the points, coming off the bench, he's a big time weapon. He is part that makes the Warriors bench deep because of what he provides on the defense end of the ball. And I think we saw that against the Celtics once he came back into the game from that hiatus.
It was big getting Peyton back, real big. Especially for this series because of what you said, his defense. Because you have him out there. If you put him out there with Clay and Wiggins, and even if Draymond's stuck there, you got four good defenders on the court.
Well, let's talk about that for a second though, because we talk about defense. Draymond sets the tone with the first play of the game. In Game 2, he lets Boston know we're not overlooking you anymore. He tries to strip the ball. He's successful, and now he's letting Boston know you got our attention. And I think the turning point in the game, to me, honestly, was when Gary Payton Jr. comes in the game. After Tatum has a great first quarter, they say stick him.
Yeah.
He started making life tough for Jason Tatum. And I don't care what people want to say. I get what Pride is saying, but that's been the problem with these playoffs. I don't care, even if you look at the regular season, inconsistency was the reason they had such a bad start.
Yeah.
They picked it up and then went right back to the same old bad habits in the playoffs. And they just been lucky to get away with these games, catching teams at the right time. You catch Chris Middleton, you catch Milwaukee without Chris Middleton. You catch Miami coming into the series hobbled. Hell, Jimmy Butler had to miss games against Philly, right? So what I'm saying is, you know, you cannot make those mistakes against the Golden State Warriors. Turnovers are bad. 18 turnovers is bad. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown lead the league in these playoffs in turnovers.
Yeah. And that's my thing, though, Rob. That's why I have a hard time. I know Pride doesn't want to hear that, but that's why I have a hard time putting him in the superstar category because, number one, he does commit turnovers, and number two, he's too inconsistent, from my opinion, to be a superstar. He has great games, but it's marred by a lot of bad games, and that's the problem I have with Jason Tatum. I need him to be more consistent, and that's why I say Luka, in my opinion, is a superstar because he doesn't have those kinds of inconsistencies. Luka's going to give you damn near 30 points a night. That's just my opinion. But
Luka just need to. If Luka can play an ounce of defense,
but I think that's what he's going to get over this.
A lot better. That's what he needs to. He needs to work on his defense game.
I think Jason Kidd already kind of came out and said that he's going to work on his defense over the summer. So I do
at least just move his feet.
Yeah, exactly. No, right. I agree with you totally. And I do think that Dallas is going to work on his defense, and I think Luka's going to work on his defense over the summer. And I think we'll see that come next year. I think we're going to see a better defensive version of Luka.
Give some effort on defense, he'd be all right.
That's it. That's all I ask. Just you know, I've seen Luka try to play that free safety role, and he just he tried to monitor everything on the court. Nobody's afraid of like Jordan Poole had a field day. Every time Luka switched on him, he was like, "Oh, I can get wherever I want on this court." So, and that's where Luka's development is gonna come. That's the only reason I say with that. You know, we gonna be critical of Tatum. I'm gonna be critical of Luka. Your defense, that's a problem. But when we talk about Tatum, I don't question his skill. I really do question his motive because you can kind of tell when Jason Tatum is into that game where he's 100% locked in. And you can tell when he's timid, when he's not being aggressive like he should be. And I understand Jaylen Brown is going to get his touches, but it should already be established. There should, like in the Wolf Pack, there is a hierarchy established where you don't mess with the big wolf, and he'll let you know. Jason Tatum needs to be the big wolf for Boston to be successful. You cannot I know Jaylen Brown has the potential to go off, but Jaylen Brown should always go in there knowing he's number 2.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think that happens sometimes.
Yeah, Tatum needs to be the true leader of the team.
He has to be in order for Boston to be successful, and that's going to come. You know, sometimes inconsistencies will happen. So I'm not really going to kill him like that. But when it comes to his
long enough, though, he has been in the
league we got to stop giving him excuses. But I'm talking about his motor. Like look, compared when he dunked on LeBron. Remember when they were playing Cleveland?
Oh yeah.
Remember when you saw that look and that motor, and then it just faded away.
Yeah,
like you gotta be on that.
Yeah, that's that mama mentality.
I think when it comes down to his motor, I think that's mental. I think it's mental.
Yeah,
I think they have to figure that out. How can I stay 100% focused on the game for the whole game and not maybe just 3 quarters or you got to be able to stay in that zone the whole time.
You do. Like if he had Marcus Smart mentality, because Marcus Smart got the mentality, he just don't have the skill. That's why he almost shot Boston right out the game against Miami. But if he had that mentality. See, Marcus Smart not scared though. He's hey, if nobody gonna shoot, I'm gonna shoot this shot. If nobody, you gotta have that mentality of I know I'm better than everybody. If Jason Tatum knew how good he was, sometimes I question if he even really think I'm that good. That's what I'm saying. I'm not questioning his skill, and that's why I didn't want Pride to get that misconstrued. He's a great player. He can shoot the mid-range. He can shoot the 3-point. He has athleticism. He has the right length. He can play defense. Showed that again. He showed me something against Kevin Durant. I need that every series, man.
And that's the point. It's not the skills that you play, it's the consistency in which you get the production. It's a production.
Because you are right. You can see a difference in his body language a lot of times on the court.
Yeah.
Just watch him.
When he's in the zone, if you watch when he's killing it in the zone, watch his body language and watch his body language other times of the game. You can
he just has to get it's that whole swagger. Sometimes he has it, sometimes he don't. And he just has to get that swagger all the time. Real quick, so the next game will be Wednesday or tomorrow. Game 3 will be tomorrow in Boston. I know I'm taking Golden State. Rob, are you going to go the same route? Or are you taking?
I honestly believe Golden State about to win 4 straight.
Yeah,
I don't say Warriors in 5 to joke. Like I know it sounds funny, but I am dead serious.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you said before the series started too.
I've been screaming Warriors in 5. Even if you go look at my last episode of Rob's 2 Cents, I said after Boston won game 1, I said, "Oh man, maybe it's gonna be Warriors in 5." What you thought I was gonna change my mind? It's still Warriors in 5.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, even with Dallas, I figured Dallas would squeak out 1, so it doesn't surprise me that Celtics squeak out 1, maybe even 2. But I think I had the Warriors. I picked the Warriors in 6. I still think the Warriors in 6. I'm gonna stick with my original prediction. But if they go in 5, that's not gonna surprise me either. Gonzo, what did you have for tonight or for tomorrow night? I mean, you had the Golden State as well.
Yeah, I have Golden State winning. I think they could win both in Boston, but I'm going to stay with my prediction of Warriors in 6. I do think
if they win both in Boston, ooh.
If they win both in Boston, you can kind of put the writing on the wall on that one at that point.
They taking their heart away. if they win both, you're taking their heart away.
So I got my question. So we're gonna hear a quick, where the season is. No, go ahead.
Why do they take 2 days off in between each game in the finals?
I think just to give them more rest and to stretch out TV deals. Probably because you see that
I hate it.
The games are about to be quicker once they get involved. Sometimes I think it's time zone too, because if you notice, the games have kind of been like 3 days apart. Like if they played Thursday, they wasn't playing again until Sunday. But you notice when they get in Boston, that game is on Wednesday, then the other game is immediately on Friday. So so I think sometimes time zones can affect it too, because you got to make sure, they got to play a certain way on the West Coast to make sure we catch it on the East Coast at a reasonable time.
Yeah, that's why in Golden State, them games are starting at 9, and then like Boston, they'll start them at 8.
Yeah, because you still got to remember on the West Coast, even though we see
I love it when they play the East Coast.
They still play. It's like 5, 6, 7 in the afternoon. So.
Yeah, I never like
when y'all want to talk some baseball.
When the East Coast games, I know I'm going to go to bed at a halfway decent time. But when it's on the West Coast, I know I'm not going to bed until 1 o'clock in the damn morning. So
yeah, man, I couldn't imagine how they feel on inside the NBA.
Oh, Lord, no mercy, man. Hey, look, real quick, we're gonna give our top 5 as how we see it right now in the season, even though it is kind of young. For my top 5, I still got the Yankees at number 1, even though I don't want to tell Frankie that. Dodgers at 2, Mets at 3, Toronto at 4, and I got Houston coming in at number 5. But I see San Diego at some point, relatively soon, sneaking up in that top 5. But that's just kind of where I got the top 5 right now. Gonzo, what's your top 5 as we speak? And don't say the Reds, even though they're on a comeback.
They might be in this top 5.
I wish I could say the Reds. They are winning 9-0 tonight, but no, I have the Yankees number 1, then the Mets, Dodgers, Astros, and then the Tampa Bay Rays would be my 5th team.
I know they're in third. That's okay though.
They're in third in their division right now, but I think they're going to move ahead of Toronto. I like the Rays pitching staff. They have a 3.31 team ERA. Their pitching, they have a strong pitching staff. If they just can get their offense going a little better, I think they're going to be a dangerous team here toward the end of the season.
Rob, how you see the top 5 right now playing? I know you're not a baseball guy, but kind of give your opinion. And don't say Chicago Cubs.
Whatever y'all just said.
No, No, the only problem I
No,
have
honestly though, only reason I know this just based off because Frankie gives daily updates. I'm assuming the Yankees must be the boys this year. I'm assuming they've been on winning streaks because every time I look up, Frankie is rubbing it in everybody's face that the Yankees have won again. So I might not know top five, but I know Yankees got to be the top team right now in the league.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. They're the top team. I think Gonzo was a little disrespectful to put the Rays in there and not have Houston there. Gonzo, I'm a little upset about that.
Whoa! I had Houston in there.
Where'd you have Houston at?
Number 4.
Houston
Did you say Houston? Man, I must have bad hearing. Okay.
He said Astros. He
Yes,
said
okay.
Astros.
Yeah, I got Houston at 4.
He said Astros, asshole.
Jay say, don't do me like that. I got one team I can celebrate.
Well, that's another.
Hey, listen, no, because I get, how many times I hear that from Frankie? I take a lot of flack from Frankie. Me,
I have Houston in there because of their pitching. They got a great pitching staff. Houston does. That's why.
Our pitching is doing quite well. We still gotta get our hitting. I think still need to improve. Yeah,
get the bats going. You guys are going to be dangerous. I watch baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm waiting for it.
Every day, so like I said, I'm watching the Reds game now. I watch baseball every day. Football is my favorite sport to watch on TV. I just think it's
mine.
All the sports, I think it has the best TV product. It's easy to watch. Baseball,
it is. I agree.
Baseball's great to be there and watch it. On TV, it's a little harder to watch unless you're just a diehard fan of it.
So real quick, Mike Trout. You know, Joe Madden obviously got fired because they were in a 12-game skid, and obviously they won coming out of that. I think they won coming out of the skid, but you know, in 2018, this isn't his first time he's been on this type of a skid. In 2018, he went 0-21, and then this year he went 0-26 with a lot of strikeouts in between. So I don't know, man. I Mike Trout's getting a little older. I don't think he's quite giving up the crown of the best, but I do believe that he's kind of slowing down a little bit, in my opinion. I just don't know how much. I mean, I think his armor is taking a little bit of a hit. What do you think, Gonzo? Is Trout starting to slow up a little bit now, or was that just a bad patch for him?
I think it was more just a bad patch. You see it in a lot of these great hitters where they'll go through slumps like that. I just wish everybody says he's the best, and I ain't gonna say he's not, but I'd like to see him on a better. I mean, it's about winning, and he's not. Him being the best player isn't leading to his team winning. So I think that's where it takes a hit on him being the best player in the league. Because to me, if you're the best player in the league, you should be able to help your team win games. And if your manager is getting fired, some of that has to go on who everybody considers the best player in the league. So I do think he's taking a hit more that way. This hitting slump don't bother me as much because you can see that a lot in hitting. The guys go through that, but when you're not helping your team win games, to me, it's hard to be the best player in the league.
No, their team is going through a slump though, right? Because I was watching that early. They say, what's the kid name from Tokyo? Otani?
Yeah.
They say he's been in the slump. They say the team in general has been in the slump.
Yeah, they have.
So that can all accommodate, for him being in the slump where everybody's kind of just going through that sluggish, period that most players go through when they, doing some soul searching. So, I know who Mike Trout is. And that just shows his superstardom. So I don't watch baseball for nothing, and I know who he is. So, but I've also heard that too, Chris, where, hey, yeah, he's physically on the baseball field a freak of nature, but they don't win, and it's been like, the Angels is not his first team, is it? He was traded to the Angels. Am I correct?
I wasn't tracking him on another team.
Has he always played for the Angels?
I believe so.
I'm looking it up real quick. I can't remember for sure.
Either he was traded or somebody was traded, like Pujols or something. Somebody was traded where they thought they was going to be like a dominating hitting.
Now Pujols did go to the Angels for a little while,
right? So I remember them talking about those two guys together, and even then, like I know Mike Trout hasn't won anything significantly as a team.
No.
He probably has all type of crazy individual awards, but that doesn't get the job done. And hasn't he been a little injury prone?
No, it's just that he's only been on the Angels. He hasn't played outside of the Angels organization.
Has he suffered like quite a few injuries?
Trout has had injuries, yes. Yeah, he has sat out games due to injury.
Yeah.
But the Angels are the only organization he's played for.
Okay.
He had injuries.
But I know he's been injury prone, and I know he hasn't won anything.
He's a 9-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, 2-time All-MLB first team. He was a Rookie of the Year, 8 Silver Slugger awards. So he has, he's done everything as an individual. It's just
not as a team.
To me, to be the best player, to be considered the best player in the league, it should lead to your team winning.
Now,
it's
can I add?
Like the NBA, if you're not going to get, they won't give an MVP to a guy that's usually on a losing team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, is baseball different? Like, explain to me how an individual can dictate how the team performs in baseball.
Yeah, I mean to me, just like mentally getting your players ready to play. Other than that, on the field, you're by yourself. You're right. On the field.
No, the only thing a player could do is give you the leadership or the spark plug. He's not going to go out there and you don't get assists and things like that, right?
Right.
So yeah, the only thing they can really do for you is the only thing he can really do is provide the leadership to the team. So, but a lot of times
that's what I'm questioning is his leadership to the team, because he's a great player. He's a great player, but somehow if you're the leader, you got to figure out how to get your guys, the rest of your team fired up where they're playing a little bit better.
Has there ever been any rumors about him being selfish, or is he a team guy?
He said the Yankees dropped the other day.
Like a whole lot of rumors or nothing like that.
Yeah, that's just stuff maybe that to consider. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't really associate with his team like that. Maybe he is all about Mike Trout, because from what it sounds like, leadership or not in baseball, based off his resume, he's a Hall of Famer. Are we on the same page?
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely a Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it.
So maybe that's all he cares about.
He's a great player. I'm not saying they ain't great.
It's hard to say with Mike Trout, because honestly, Mike Trout is a very quiet individual. He doesn't do a lot of things that garners attention to who he is. He's a very privatized, quiet individual. Pretty much all you know about Mike Trout is what he puts on the field. You never really hear about anything in the clubhouse or things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, he don't do no commercials or anything like that. He stays to himself. He's not. Only time you even see him is on the field. You don't hear nothing about him off the field hardly at all.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've never heard anything bad about Mike Trout. I just wanted to ask our local baseball experts, because that's something to question. When you see a player of that caliber playing so good, you wonder why that doesn't translate to the team. But then you also think in baseball, even though it's a team sport, you up at that batter's mound by yourself, at that pitcher's mound by yourself. So, I mean, at the end,
Hey, Frankie, and we're putting it on the Diamondbacks 9-0 right now in the third inning.
Yeah, we gotta let Jay Ness off the hook this morning with the baseball thing. So yeah, I definitely get that, man. Real quick, so Gridiron Yuki says, "Hey Jay, I hope you gave that dude a huge talk." Yeah, Gridiron, it's all good. Everything's been squared away. My life is back in order now. So apparently there was an issue.
I know. I remember. I got the wrong guy, wrong Gridiron.
Yeah, there was an issue this morning. So I had to go up to our king and say, "Hey man, you're ruining my marriage. Please leave me alone."
He said, "Hold on, not me." Yuki was like, "Hold on, that ain't me, player."
Hey, oh my gosh. We're winning 3-1 right now.
That's why I wasn't on, but I turned you guys on, and I heard Jay say that. I was correct. Hey, you guys had a great show this morning.
Yeah, it was fun.
I woke up late.
Hey, here's the deal. Okay, this kind of I've kind of been on the Bieniemy bandwagon back when the whole coaching carousel was going on, and Bieniemy obviously had interviews and didn't get hired. Now he says he has to go out and get the head coaching job. And my question to you guys is, so Nagy and who was the other guy? I believe it was Peterson. Both got jobs and came out of the same coaching tree as Bieniemy did, but Bieniemy's still there. It hasn't gotten a head coaching job. We see Nagy went on with the Bears, and then Peterson got on with Philadelphia. Peterson had a lot of success, not a bad gig. Now he's got on with Jacksonville. Nagy, on the other hand, total flop in Chicago, and now I think he's doing something with the head coach or assistant coaching or whatever. But at what point is Bieniemy finally going to get his shot?
City as an assistant.
Yeah. So at what point is Bieniemy going to get his shot at head coaching job, given the resume that he's had on offense with the Chiefs? I mean, is it his interviewing technique? Is it just that maybe they don't think that, he's fully running that offense, that maybe Andy Reid is kind of running some of that? Or is there some kind of issue out there that we're not aware of? Or is it because by all accounts and the success of that offense, he should have a head coaching job somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it's interviewing, or I think some of it has to do with his relationship with players, because you're starting to hear a lot of stuff from players come out about him, how he could be hard to get along with, and a lot of players didn't like his coaching style. So I'm wondering if that has more to do with being a head coach, because I mean he has a good resume being there in KC with Reid. I know you do hear a lot of people talking about who calls the plays, but just like when he mishandled that at the halftime of the AFC Championship game against the Bengals, him, Mahomes and Reid, all there was a rift with all them three. So I think it's more of just his relationship with people might be one of the reasons he hadn't got the head coaching job yet.
So, Rob, Frankie chimes in and says it's because he's black. But we know that we have seen a couple of black coaches get hired. But at the same time, again, I got what makes me ponder what Frankie, and maybe there's some validity what he's saying, is because how the hell does Nagy get a job over Bieniemy? And we see what Nagy produced. And I just want it kind of
But Nagy didn't get another head coaching job.
Yeah, he's not a head coach.
But you saw what he did. I think Bieniemy would have done a much better job than Nagy.
Yeah, I think he might have, but I think that might hurt Bieniemy some too, because people look at the coaching trees. Well, they both come from the same coaching tree of Andy Reid, and if they hired Nagy and it didn't work, so they might be a little bit thinking that, hey, do we want to take a chance on another Andy Reid guy because the tree hasn't been real productive?
I don't.
Some of it might be because he's black too. We know NFL has that. We know that NFL has that problem. So I'm not saying that don't have anything to do with it. I just think as many interviews as he has, there's had to be a little something else, and so I think it might be just a relationship with some of the players, and some of the players coming out saying things that hurts him as well.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, like Chris said, we know that issue of color is one of the issues that's always moving over the NFL. But when it comes to Bieniemy's case, the fallout with Pat Mahomes, it doesn't help. When you can't get along with a budding superstar, especially superstar quarterback in the National Football League, Pat Mahomes has won Super Bowls. He's won MVPs. I mean, a lot of people were calling him the future GOAT when Tom Brady leaves. So not having a good relationship with your quarterback definitely hurts, especially being a head coach in the NFL, because the quarterback is essentially the head coach on the field. So, that hurts. Also, Andy Reid, you don't know who's really in control of the play calling with the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid has pushed for people to say it's Bieniemy. He's been telling people, hey, Bieniemy is running all the offensive sets on this team, but it comes out that that's not the case. You see, the general manager the Bears just got from Kansas City. He says, no, it's been Andy Reid. Andy Reid been the voice on his team the whole time. It's been a play call on his team the whole time. He didn't even get hired with him in Chicago. He didn't even look in Bieniemy's way, and that hurts. When somebody who's a general manager who's black is not saying I'm gonna give you the head coach just off the strength you're black.
I think some of the issue is, and I know Yuki kind of pointed it out, LaShawn McCoy came out and said about Bieniemy that he just did not get along with him. And then you see Mahomes not getting along with him. So I think there probably is a player issue not connecting all the time with Bieniemy. And I think that really does weigh in on him. I look at the Texans, and they give Lovie Smith the head coaching job, which I thought Bieniemy would have been great for. But then you give it to Lovie Smith. And look, let's be honest, nothing against Lovie. But Lovie hasn't been all that successful in the NFL. He did okay with the Bears, but he hasn't been tremendously successful. But then they give him another shot, which I thought was, kind of a bland move.
But Lovie got to a Super Bowl.
Much like Denver went with Hackett out of Green Bay, I thought Hackett was kind of a bland move. I think
Lovie has taken his team to the Super Bowl as a head coach.
I get it, but he hasn't won it, and he hasn't really done much since then. I'm not saying
he hasn't.
Yeah. Well, he went to college and was coaching Illinois, and he turned their football team around. Don't get me wrong, he didn't get them to like national championship, but he did get them back where they were winning some games and was more relevant in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and you ask former players, including the Brian Urlacher, Lance Britt. People love Lovie. Lovie was a player's coach.
I'll tell you who I thought really got screwed was Caldwell.
And I think that's what hurts Bieniemy is he's not a player's coach, and I think that's what's hurting him right now.
That's who got screwed.
Caldwell,
right?
With the Lions.
Caldwell got screwed.
Oh yeah, that's another good one that I thought would have been really, really good for Texas was Jim Caldwell. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I love Jim Caldwell. He was assistant with the Colts for a long time, then head coach. I didn't like when the Colts got rid of him. That season went on him. You didn't have your quarterback. And you didn't have a good backup. That was more on the front office than what it was on him. But
and
go ahead.
As a black man, I'm not telling the NFL to just hire people of color because they got color. Please choose the best candidate for you. I don't care what color he is.
Right.
When we talk about the racial gap of head coaches in the NFL, we're talking about the fact that they're not given an equal opportunity to get the job.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that you have to make up incentives for teams to even consider interviewing this black dude for a head coaching position. Like we had to make up the Moody rule and the Rooney rule, all of that stuff. It makes no sense that I have to give you an incentive. I have to give you draft picks or cap hits and things of that nature in order for you to interview a black man for a head coaching position. So that's my only problem with that. But when we're talking about, coaches that haven't made it yet, it's some of it is the reasons are warranted. And I don't think Bieniemy, based off what I've been hearing from other players and coaching staff and even other general managers, he's just not it. He doesn't have that spark that make you think this can be the leader of my team. Because you got to remember, as the head coach, you're not only just doing play calling and everything like that. You mentoring these young guys coming into the league that's looking for a father figure, that you teaching them the right way to study the game, and even in some cases the right way to manage their money. So it takes a lot to be a head coach in these leagues because these kids, man, we look at them and they look big and strong. You got to be kid 19, 21, 22 years old. Sometimes you need that direction. And if you can't even get things right on the offensive side of the ball, where that's all you have to focus on, how can I trust you to run the team?
And
there are two things. There's two decisions in the NFL coaching hiring or firing process that really just irked me. And I've already said one. One was Hackett. I don't think Hackett's a bad assistant, but I don't think he's done enough in the NFL to quantify a head coaching job with the Denver Broncos when you have a coach like Flores out there and you bring him in. I think what Flores brings to the table is so much more than what Hackett does. And look what he did with Miami. How do you not give that guy the job? I get it. I just don't get the whole Hackett. And I think Denver's going to regret that, I think, in the long run, the whole Hackett hiring. The other one that really bothers me is the firing of Brian Flores out of Miami. And Miami is definitely going to regret that because Brian Flores built Miami to win a Super Bowl. All they needed was a field general to run the team. And I'm telling you, had they gone after Watson and let Brian Flores get the player that he wants, and he put Brian Flores in that Miami offense and defense, I'm telling you, Miami is going to be automatically in the conversations of top 5 in the NFL. And I think Miami's going to really regret how they handled that whole situation.
Oh, I do too. I don't think that Flores ever wanted Tua.
Yeah.
I don't think that's who he wanted to
whether
take
you
in
want
the
him or
draft.
not, whether you want him or not, you know what I'm saying? If your coach is telling, hey, look, I have built this team. All I need is the right field general. And I don't believe in Tua. I've seen what he can do. I don't believe in his arm strength. I don't believe in his I don't believe in his mobility. He's got injuries. Let me go after Deshaun Watson. Bring Watson in here, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna show you magic.
Hey, or even if they had drafted Herbert instead of Tua. Look what Miami would have looked like with Flores if he would have had Herbert playing. I think you're muted, Rob.
Is Rob muted?
Hey, well, I'm sorry. What you guys say? I'm sorry.
No, we were just talking about the whole Dolphins situation. And Gridiron Yuki says even if they brought in Watson, that they're still screwed. I don't think so. I think you bring in Watson, because Brian Flores is a smart person. He knows what he's doing. Then I think you let him bring in Herbert.
I think if they took Herbert over too, they'd be in a real good position right now.
I agree. Totally agree with you. Oh, my God. They take Herbert. Man, they're ready to roll.
Yeah. I'm talking about over Tua. I think you take a lot of people over Tua. You've been ready to roll. I don't blame Brian Flores for wanting to go after the quarterback he wanted, especially when you see the potential of what they could be. Because even now, I think Miami offensively is scary if they had a quarterback. I don't see Tyreek Hill. He's not going to get the same love he got in Kansas City, especially with Tua throwing the ball. So
to me, Tyreek Hill's not a good fit there. Not with Tua.
No, unless you're going to run a lot of slant plays or a lot of screens for Tyreek. I don't see it working.
Well, according to Tua, he says that he is throwing a 40-yard bomb and a 50-yard bomb to Tyreek and connected to pay dirt. So he says that his conditioning and mobility are better. And we talked about that. Now, again, the proof is in the pudding, right? So we'll have to wait and see what he does in the regular season and if he can stay healthy. But at the end of the day, I still don't fully believe in him. I don't care what he says. I don't believe in Tua. I never have believed in Tua, honestly.
No, I don't either.
No, I wasn't a big Tua fan when he was coming out of college. I actually thought he was a little overhyped. Yes, they would have been. That's true. We don't know how many games to watch.
What's interesting?
2 more cases just came out, man.
Against Deshaun.
Hey, that's true. Hey, I was going to ask you guys about that. So Deshaun Watson, there's 2 more ladies now that have come out and accused him. I mean, is this ever going to end for Watson, or is this just going to be an ongoing thing?
I don't know. I thought it was over, and they were just going to do it. The NFL is going to make a decision on a suspension and move on. But now you got 2 more coming out, and he keeps saying he's not guilty. But man, for 24 women to accuse you, that's.
But you know what I'm wondering is,
it's hard to believe that something didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's hard
and Rob, you know what I'm wondering now is, now that there's 2 more women that are coming out and accusing him, is he going to have to go back now to criminal court and start that whole process all over again?
I think so.
Maybe it depends on if they're filing criminal or just civil. But yeah.
But I think that puts a hinder on him possibly playing this year, which now is going to beg the question: what you going to do with Baker?
That's just what I was going to ask you, because my question to you, both of you guys, is this: if you're Baker and if you're the Browns, are the Browns now saying, "Oh my God, what the hell have we done?" Because now he's got 2 more cases. Now he's going to have to go through all this litigation all over, and we're going to lose. And if you're Baker, are you saying, "You idiots"? Yeah, and now I guess you're really going to want me to play, huh?
If I'm Baker, I'm breaking the bank. Yeah. I'm saying, hey, what you gonna do for me? Because I'm demanding a trade. I'm demanding a trade, and you gonna pay me for it.
Yeah,
I'm demanding a trade because what can you do? You can't afford both of them, right? If you want to be successful.
And they just gave that guy $230 million, and he's got 2 more cases to go through now.
And they still owe Baker 19.
And a lot of that $230 million is guaranteed, even if.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
There was stuff in there about like even if you got suspended and stuff, some of that money is still guaranteed. So,
Man, shout out to Deshaun Watson's agent.
Hell yeah. Hey, he's sitting back. He's sitting back, fat and happy. The Browns are going to rely on Baker and Josh. Man, I hope they're not relying on Joby Brissett because that's going to be horrible. But
if
yeah,
I'm Baker, what Baker needs to do, I'd say screw the Browns, but I'd go out there and play my ass off this year because then my stock must improve my stock. Because right now there's not a lot of people wanting to trade for him. He goes out there and balls this year, then go out there and ball this year, then demand the trade because your stock's going to be a lot higher.
Hey, Chris,
you got bet on yourself.
Yep, everybody loves a good story. And how great of a story would it be to play great for the team that didn't want me, to get us to the playoffs and ask for my trade? Oh, I'm going to get paid. That's a good narrative.
That's why I was a big Baker Mayfield fan when he was coming into the NFL, was because of his story. It was a 2-time walk-on, turned himself into a Heisman winner. That's what made me a big fan.
That's what he has to do. Baker has to put this whole debacle of Watson coming there. He's got to put that behind him. Like you said, go out there, play for your life, and get the and get the quad and demand your trade. And then you can go on and do whatever you want. But you're right. You got to use this opportunity because anytime you can be on the field and showcasing your abilities, especially if you don't want to be somewhere and you got time on the clock, build, like you said, if you're smart, you'll build your draft stock up. And then, like you said, ask for the trade. You're good.
Well, I've been disappointed in Baker. I really thought Baker was going to be good in the NFL. I thought he was going to be like a Russell Wilson type guy. I really did, but it just hasn't turned into that yet. But and
I got to be honest with you, Baker has a good offensive line. He's got good running backs. He's got good wide receivers.
Had a great running game. I know those running backs are injury prone. Don't get me wrong, but when they healthy,
two of the better backs in the league.
What I'm saying is to showcase your talents, to be able to showcase your talents. This is the best team to be able to do that because you have all the things you need to do to show the other teams, hey, give me this, and this is what I'll give you. This is your opportunity.
Yeah,
so I hope you see it.
They're a little weaker at receiver now because they lost Landry as well.
Well, they're running Cooper. Hopefully,
they still have a lot of weapons though.
But they still got what's his name, Peoples.
Yeah.
I like them.
They got Cooper, and they got another guy too that they got. They got 3 offensive weapons.
I forgot they brought in Cooper when they got after they lost Landry.
Yeah. No, they actually, in my opinion, I mean, if Cooper, can ball out, and I have a feeling they're going to wind up double teaming Cooper like they did in Dallas, but that would just open it up for Peoples and the other wideouts, and hopefully Baker can get the ball to. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
But even with that though, I think depending on what quarterback they have with Cleveland, just based off that running game, how much play action they can get away with though.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about it. You catch a Cooper in the slant, or you catch not even in the slant. You catch him running a hitch route, or you catch him running an in and out. Now we're talking about he gone. So I think that actually serves well because Cleveland has the type of offense to keep you off balance on defense because they can run the ball.
Right. So Gridiron points out that Treylon Burks, who was a wide receiver drafted by the Titans to replace Brown. Turns out he's got asthma, and Gridiron is saying, do you think it's going to affect his career? I mean, it didn't affect his college career. I don't think it's going to affect his NFL career either. I think they will probably monitor it and treat it, as it needs to be, but I think he'll be fine. What do you guys think?
It depends on how bad it is. Speaking as someone who has asthma, which is is ludicrous that I used to smoke and still be active, but speaking for somebody that had asthma, technology and medicine has advanced so much nowadays. You can keep it under control. I take a daily steroid or oral steroid that helps keep my asthma under control while I don't have to use my rescue inhaler as much, sometimes not at all. So and this is before I stopped smoking cigarettes. Now I'm a month clean, everybody. So it's been a month since I quit this non-smoking journey, and I'm still going strong. So shout out.
Has it got easier for you like I said it would?
It's not easy because to this day I still want to smoke. But
hey, I'm getting ready to try to quit as well.
listen, I'm gonna tell you like Yoda said.
TCA. Hey, now look. I still do the I ain't stopped smoking that, so we.
Yeah.
but honestly though, man, I appreciate that gridiron. But honestly though, asthma can be tricky too though, because it can
Yeah.
flare up off some of the crazy. If you have allergies, that can flare your asthma.
Yeah.
You catch a cold, that can flare up your asthma. So it's all depending on how well he keeps his asthma under control. But I'm pretty sure they got nebulizer machines and all type of things on the sideline. We see guys that don't even have asthma hit the oxygen, after they've ran. So, I think asthma is the least of your worries, especially in today's, and he's athletic and in shape. So he's really ahead of the game when it comes to asthma control.
Yeah, and if he was able to perform that well in college, I don't see it affecting him more in the NFL.
Yeah. He wouldn't even got drafted if it was that much of a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. Odell Beckham still has not signed with anybody yet. Where is he going to land? Is he going to wind up going back to
going
LA?
He going to Green Bay.
Is that where we got him going?
I just see it happening.
I think he's going right here.
I'm about to say, what about
that'd be nice.
Somebody
that'd be nice.
I think he'd be a good fit with Matt Ryan. I think he.
Didn't you guys just pick up Julio Jones?
No, not yet.
No. That's what everybody think. Everybody think he should go there. Me and Chris have talked about that countless number of times. You would think Julio Jones would go there just for the Matt Ryan connection.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but they haven't signed him yet. And then Frank Wright came out yesterday. Excuse me, said that he's liking the progress of their young receiving core. So I don't know if they're even going to go after anybody. But there's been rumors that they're going about OBJ. So and I'd be fine with that. I think he'd be a good addition to that receiving core because we don't have Hilton no more. Hilton's on sign. So right now we're relying.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a free agent. We haven't signed him back yet.
Wow.
Man, there's a lot of wear and tear on those tires too with him.
Right now Pittman, and then we have that Pierce that we just drafted from Cincinnati, and damn it, guy from Ohio State can't. Oh, damn it. Can't think.
So is it safe to say that we have the
y'all still got that stud at running back though?
Oh yeah, still have Jonathan Taylor. And they picked up Philip Lindsay as well, so that's gonna be a decent backup weapon.
Yeah,
I think they still have Hines. I love Nyheim Hines. I think they should use him more as a receiver.
Yeah.
So Gridiron's got him going to either Denver or San Francisco. Damian Hernandez has him going to Chicago. I don't see the Chicago thing, but
I wouldn't even go to Chicago, and I'm from here.
But what I don't like is Darius Leonard. Darius Leonard's going to be out for a while. He just had some kind of back surgery, so that's scary.
Now, I think the OBJ to Denver can be intriguing.
That's what I was saying. I would say maybe Denver out of the teams they mentioned. I would say Denver.
I think Denver, but I think Green Bay is intriguing too.
Yeah,
you got to think about it. You're gonna get touches. You're gonna get touches because Devontae ain't that no more.
Oh, absolutely, you're gonna get touches because I don't even know if you believe in the wide receivers they took in the draft. I don't know how much faith you're gonna put.
No, I read a story they were talking about Aaron Rodgers' new favorite target. I call BS.
I think if OBJ went there, it'd be good. It'd be good for him too, because like you said, Rodgers going to throw him the ball.
He gonna get the ball.
Yeah.
He gonna get the ball, and not to mention, I think at this point now, Odell got his ring, so now he just building up his legacy to get Hall of Fame worthy.
And I know Rodgers ain't done that in the postseason here last few times, but you get somebody like OBJ with them, that'd be a dangerous combination.
It would be.
That'd be one of the best quarterbacks.
How do you feel about OBJ's injury
one of the best
issues?
ball throwers that OBJ ever played with. If he goes over there and Rodgers is throwing him the ball.
I think with all of the lower issues, ACL twice, and I just think it's going to affect his speed. But as we see, sometimes a great receiver doesn't always have to be the fastest.
Oh, I agree with you on that.
We've seen Julian Edelman. We've seen Cooper Kupp. I mean, I think Odell is is slick enough to still get where he needs to go to. I think he can stay healthy. You know,
but can he finish seasons? That's kind of been an
issue. That's the question. That's the question, man. That's the question. He hasn't shown me anything to say he will have a complete season.
Right.
No, I mean that's the same.
That's a tricky thing, man. Double ACLs. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot of wear and tear, man.
I even question sometimes: is he going to even come back?
Yeah, I think he comes back.
I don't know.
He might go to the Giants for one day and retire.
I don't know because Odell has built up a popularity enough. I think he'll be okay. He doesn't necessarily still need football.
He probably could land a job on TV somewhere.
He can land a job on TV. He can go in the fashion industry. He has enough friends. They can invest in something. I just think he has the resources. He's already rich. You know, he already has the look. You know, he has the popularity with all these followers. I mean, the sky's the limit for him if he can take advantage of everything. If he really focuses on what his next move will be in life, I think Odell will be okay. Because let's be honest, everybody's thinking about what you just mentioned, the ACL. Like, can you give me a complete season? We know you're dynamic. We know you've been dynamic. How dynamic are you still?
Right.
Can you still do what you used to do? Your hands ain't the one that we question it, but you need to be in a position to be able to use those hands.
And I'm telling you right now, whatever team brings him in, if I'm them team doctors, I'm looking at them knees like a fine-tooth microscope to see what's really going on.
Yeah. I think a team that suits Odell, where he's kind of coming in as the third receiver. To me. Well, all eyes are not on him because also too, you know, the way he injured that ACL, I don't think nobody touched him, if I recall that correctly.
No, nobody was touching him. He just crumbled. Like he just
crumbled.
Went down.
So those the worst ACL injuries because that means that it was bound to break at some time. So
he probably already had a partial tear when he was in that game. I guarantee he had a partial tear, and it just went all the way.
Yeah, it just went off.
Because I've had a partial tear before, and you can be just fine with a partial tear and not know it, and then it just goes out on you one day. You make that wrong move. You
was walking. We talking about with all these cuts they got to make, stopping on the dime. So man. I question if he coming back. To me, everybody said, "Well, Odell going." I think he kind of got what he wanted out of the league.
Is Antonio? I haven't heard about Antonio Brown going to Dallas. Has anybody heard anything?
No, nobody want Antonio Brown. If they do get him, it's out of desperation. And Jerry Jones is that desperate to do it. Jerry Jones is that desperate to do it because I think Jerry Jones is a smart marketing genius. He understands that the Cowboys won't win. He will keep their name in your mouth.
Hey, real quick, Garen Yuki, put it in the comments. Where did you hear that? I'm just curious as to where you heard that about Dallas going after him. I'm just curious. Because I haven't seen anything like that on him. I don't know if that was a Twitter post or I'm just kind of curious what the source was that said that. I really hope they don't go after him because, like you said, I don't think they need him. I think they need to build off of what they already currently have. But that's just me.
Yeah,
not just me. All right, hey, how do we rank the teams in the NFC North? Speaking of football, I gotta be honest with you. Hey, listen, I'm gonna give you a hot take, man. I really think Minnesota is their year to do it, man. I think O'Connell. Coming out of that Super Bowl win and the offensive coordinator for the Rams, coming over to Minnesota, revamping Cousins, revamping that offense, which we already know is pretty damn good with Jefferson and Thielen and so forth. And of course, you got Dalvin Cook in your backfield, and you got a pretty good defense. Maybe the secondary is a little suspect, but honestly, man, Green Bay hasn't really, in my opinion, upgraded that wide receiver core enough to make me think that they're going to do something great. So I don't know, man. I think Minnesota can make some noise in the North. I think, obviously, if I had to rank it, I'm going to go, and it's a hot take, but I got Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, and Detroit. That's kind of how I see it. How do you guys see it, Gonzo?
I would go Green Bay 1, Minnesota 2, Detroit 3, and the Bears at 4. But I really don't think that's that much of a hot take, Jake, because I can see Minnesota winning this division because I don't know Green Bay I don't think they've gotten any better. and they might have got worse. You lost your number one receiver, and they really haven't done anything to replace him.
He called Detroit waste management. Hey, I agree, man. I already said Detroit's where careers go to die.
I think Campbell's going to turn the Detroit around somehow.
That's hilarious, though. Waste management.
I like that. Gridiron, that's a pretty good one, man. Yeah, hey, like I said, man.
I'm going. Jay, I think a lot of people got Minnesota winning this division. I think so too. I'm going Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit. That's out of my heart. I think this, as long as we're better than Green Bay, it's a great season for me with the Bears.
And I think people have to understand that.
I think you guys hired a good coach. I like the coach the Bears hired. He was good. He was good in Indy. He had a hell of a defense going.
I think with this general manager we have, eventually Chicago troubles will turn around. I think we got a guy that's really about player development. He comes from a winning situation.
Yep.
You can tell he didn't get the coach everybody thought, and I gave him slack about the coach he picked. But after reading more about his impact in Indy, I think we got a pretty decent coach. I think he is gonna if not set the tone for us, I think he's gonna do a lot to help Justin Fields. I think it was
a good choice.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a lot to help Justin Fields.
Was he your choice, or did you have somebody else in mind that you would have rather seen take over that job? Or is he the one that you wanted?
I thought, honestly, that the Bears would have got Caldwell.
Okay.
I was hoping they were going to hire him because didn't he interview?
Yeah. I thought they was going to get Caldwell. I was like, okay, cool. Even with that, I'm like, man, that's going to serve good for Justin Fields. I just feel like the Bears is kind of taking a step back defensively, which is their calling card. Right. So I'm interested to see what Justin Fields can do. But I honestly can't name any. I haven't kept up with the Bears enough. I don't really even know what their team is looking like. So I'm actually, when I get some time, start studying up on them since football season is right around the corner, and I want to see what the Bears are made of. But I know we've lost our receivers, so I'm not really expecting anything this year from the Chicago.
I was just about to ask you. So we're not really. Are we really not expecting too much out of Fields in year two, or should we be expecting something out of Fields?
No, because I mean, if Fields don't have anybody to throw it to, I think right now is just getting his mental right and trying to work on the offensive line and give him at least a little protection. But I think Fields can do enough to keep us a 500 team. So I'm not expecting the Bears to make the playoffs. I don't see why everybody still has so much faith in the Packers. I really do think this is Minnesota's time to win the division. I just think Minnesota's always been a decent team. They just couldn't get over that hump of winning the big games. And I think bringing in a culture change with a head coach change, especially a winning head coach, who just had some winning experience, I just think that's going to be enough to help Minnesota be that top team in the North.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's called great game plans against arguably some of the best teams out there, like, Tampa Bay with Tom and so forth. And so again, I don't see why they're knocking. I mean, I think he's going to do great things. I mean, they've already revamped. They changed the entire offense terminology, and I think some of the plays to capitalize more on Kirk Cousins. So I'm really expecting big things out of Minnesota, to be honest.
I am too.
Cousins is not a bad quarterback. He catches a lot of slack or a lot of heat. I don't think he deserves because he's not a bad quarterback.
Look, everybody was saying Matt Stafford was a terrible quarterback until his ass won a Super Bowl and freaking in the Super with the Rams, and now Freddie Henderson's all over his nuts. So I mean, it just goes to show you that people can have a version of you, but I mean, come on, look at his body of work. His body of work is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I was hoping the Colts would go after him when they got rid of Williams.
Hey, I never was one of the people to say he was a top-notch quarterback, but I did say I liked him more than I liked who the Rams had previously.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I mean,
Jared Goff. So I figured, I said, man, Matt, you bring in Matthew Stafford and then they go and they pick up OBJ halfway through the season. I didn't know. I didn't expect that from Cooper Kupp.
But let me,
man,
Rob,
I mean,
let me ask you this, Rob
Lord.
Scott. Hold on now, but Rob Scott, this is where people. This is where you got to understand. Matt Stafford and Megatron hold even because Cooper Kupp missed it by a little bit, but Matt Stafford held the most wide receiving yards in a single season was under Megatron, and Matt Stafford was his quarterback. Then he comes to LA, and then they had the most receiving yards in NFL history. And guess who the quarterback was?
Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford. So why are we worried? Look, he's always been doing this. It's just Detroit is where careers go to die, and they don't give him nothing outside of
I think the thing was that this was great for Matthew Stafford's career because I think a lot of people didn't know how good he was because of the greatness of Megatron.
Well, that plus they always kind of thought that Detroit was a terrible place to play, and he just kind of got a bad rap there.
Yeah, but look at Megatron is a Hall of Famer, and sometimes great receivers can make the quarterback. Like I think the narrative, if Tom Brady wasn't the winner that he was before he got Randy Moss, I think that narrative would have changed where they'll say Randy Moss made Brady.
Let me ask you this: you take Cooper Kupp, and you put him with any other quarterback in the league. Is he going to be?
It's hard to say that. Are you going to put in the same play caller with Cooper Kupp? Well, because I don't think that's all. That's not all Matthew Stafford. That's play calling too, though. That's putting your receiver in the best spot.
But what's the one constant? See, here's the deal. There's the constant. The constant is in two different play calling systems, Matt Stafford still gave you the number one wideout and wide receiving yards record history. He's the constant. The variable change is the receiver and the play calling. But the constant is still Matt Stafford is a freaking great quarterback because he has done that in two different systems with two different receivers. And we all know Megatron is a hell of a lot better than Cooper Kupp. Yeah. I mean, look, Megatron.
Hey, I get that. People were still saying Devontae Adams was the best receiver in the league after he got the Triple Crown. After Cooper Kupp got the Triple Crown. Right. Statistically speaking, Cooper Kupp was the best receiver in the league, but you ask anybody, hell, some people still want to put D-Hop over Cooper Kupp.
No, I agree. Imagine a guy like Devontae Adams playing with Matt Stafford at the Rams. Can you imagine how many yards he would probably have? It'd be insane. It'd probably be insane.
Hey, you'll just have to get a shirt that just says "Holy shit."
Hey, I love the commercials Matt Stafford's doing now. Have you seen that AT&T commercial he does where he trades in his phone?
Oh, when he's like, you give him 12 years of your life, and I was like, they wild.
That was a good trade, and he said, life changing.
Yeah, I said they wild. But I'm happy for Matthew. He proved something. Everybody said he couldn't win a big one, and for some time he couldn't. I mean, it took him 12 years to get a Super Bowl. I mean, not even Super Bowl, a playoff win. But once he won, he kept winning. So you got to, he went through a gauntlet because you had to beat Tom Brady on that path, and he did.
And he was a big part of them winning. It wasn't like he was just along for the ride.
I
mean, he was one of the big factors.
He definitely was. Especially when a lot of people didn't have him favorite. A lot of people had the Bucs favorite. Some people were saying the Bills were going to do it, the Chiefs were going to do it. So, for him to be able to do it, and then even beating a young smoking Joe. Joe was on the come up, and I still think that duo, him and Jamar Chase, is going to be one of the great duos in the NFL this season. So, for what he did, it was beautiful.
I got a question. So if Stafford can somehow pull off a back-to-back Super Bowl win, so if he gets the Super Bowl this year as well, you got to admit, what is that? Because that's going to put him above Rodgers automatically. Rodgers is going to definitely fall down from the thrones of grace. So what is that going to do to you? In your opinion, what does that do to Aaron Rodgers' legacy if Matt Stafford gets back-to-back Super Bowls?
He just moves down the number.
But it's got to make him because everybody, including Freddie at one time, was hailing him as the baddest man ever. But if this dude comes out with 2 Super Bowls after leaving a place like Detroit, you gotta automatically, think that Freddie was just full of shit.
Who said Rodgers is the baddest man ever? Tom Brady is the baddest man ever.
No. Well, he just said he always said he's a bad man.
He is a bad man. That because Stephen A. Smith got people saying. And don't get me wrong. In the regular season, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. But when we start talking about legacy, regular season don't count. We know you can play.
You've heard a lot of people say about that Rodgers is the best thrower of the football that's ever played.
Get out of here. We're going to see how good he is without Devontae.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. I think this year we're going to see a side of the Packers and Rodgers that we haven't seen in a long time. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with what he has. But moving on, man. Hey, the Nuggets, are they in a championship or bust mode? They lost their Connolly went over to Minnesota, so they lost. I believe their GM went up, and now they get a new GM, or they're looking for a GM or something of that nature. But so the Nuggets have not had Murray or Michael Porter Jr. for a hot minute. I think within the last 2 year playoff years, they didn't have them this year, and I don't think they had them last year. What is Denver at now? Are they at a point where it's either a championship or we need to start looking at other things, or is this just another statistical year? What do we expect out of the Nuggets going forward, Chris?
I think the Nuggets need to get some more players in there that can stay healthy to build around Jokic. Murray's a great player, but if you can't get on the court, you're not helping us. So they need to see how their health is, and maybe even if you have to move a Murray or
that's gross.
I know. I was trying to talk. It had me all messed up.
I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to laugh. I was reading that. I was like, "Wow, that's hate."
Hey, that's pretty jacked up. But okay.
Even if you have to get rid of Murray and Jr., get some guys in there to build around Jokic. I think they'll be fine because you saw what Jokic done with the talent that was on that team this year. You get some better talent around them, the Nuggets will be fine. I don't think it'll be a complete rebuild, but I do think you'll see some new pieces in there.
Man, Mickey Delaney throwing all kinds of heat out. First he called me a cheater, then he called Tom Brady a cheater. Damn, Mickey. What the hell?
You don't say nothing about Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't do nothing. That was Belichick. Tom Brady was on the team by default.
Did he? Hey, but didn't Tom Brady finally come out and admit that the butt fumble really was a fumble?
Yeah, that's still not him cheating. The referees gave him a call. He went with it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at him. I come on now. Even Draymond Green just came out and said, "Hey, I know I get differential treatment." This is stuff we've all seen before. When you win in the league, you're gonna get different treatment. That's in any sport you play. You're always gonna get the benefit of the doubt. That was why some people were surprised they didn't call a roughing the passer against the Rams in that playoff game against the Bucks. But Tom Brady was complaining about his busted lip. They said, "You got hit, player. Game on." So hey, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you get the call, sometimes you don't, and more oftentimes than not, the best team is going to get the benefit of the doubt. Hey, it's okay, but to call Tom Brady a cheater, that's not him. He didn't cheat. He was just on the team that cheated.
And about any team that wins the Super Bowl, if you look back, they have some calls go their way.
Everybody has calls go their way when you winning.
Yep.
Michael Jordan got some favorable calls.
Rob, how do you view this Nuggets team? Are you looking at them as like, hey, they just need to revamp for next year? Or is this a make for them?
This is going to turn into a full rebuild mode team. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get a chance to play with Murray. You'll get a chance to play with Michael Porter Jr. You're going to realize that Michael Porter Jr. has a very, very bad contract. You're going to realize that even with a healthy Murray and Michael Porter Jr., it still ain't enough for the Nuggets to make no noise. And then as an organization, as the front office of the organization, you're going to have to now start contemplating who can we move around. Jokic is not going anywhere. But I just don't think the way that they're presently constructed that the Denver Nuggets can really make any noise. They're always going to be around that 5th, 6th place team in the Western Conference.
They got to
have to rebuild it.
They got to get a solid number 2 to go with Jokic.
The thing is, who wants to play in Denver? It's hard for these smaller market teams. What's in Denver? So that's the same thing
the Pacers go through. Who wants to come in
hey, look. Hey, Gridiron, you can say, are the Nuts in a championship? But I think that everybody knows that the Nets are in a bust mode. They got to rebuild. They got to
now the Nets are, yeah, for sure. Because you have a Kevin Durant and a Kyrie Irving on the same team, it's definitely championship or bust.
They I read that and forgot.
Hey, he did break it, and that's a break with a BREK.
Hey, do you think that Durant's going to end up in Memphis? I've been seeing some reports and some rumors about him teaming
Morant and Durant, yes, Lord.
Oh Lord, you know what? Hey, that could be
if he went to Memphis, that'd be scary.
Man, if he went to Memphis, though, you want to talk about ruining your legacy? You're really going to be looked at as a ring chaser.
Yep.
Oh God, yes.
And I'm gonna give him all Frankie for you. If KD runs to Memphis, I'm giving him all the smoke.
But KD's got to run somewhere because he's
no. KD need to man up and get Brooklyn under control. That's what you do. Man up, get Brooklyn under control.
The Nets have already talked about shipping away Kyrie. And Durant already said that the real reason he's in Brooklyn, it's not for the money, it's not for the titles, it's to play with Kyrie. So if Kyrie leaves, you got to imagine Durant's going to leave.
Kyrie not going nowhere as long as they pay him his money.
So you think they give him
I'm not saying they're going to give him the max, but that's the only way he leaves if they don't give him money. And even then, first of all, what is Memphis going to have to give up to get a Kevin Durant? They're not even going to have the same roster. You're going to have to give up Jaren Jackson Jr. You're going to have to probably give up Dylan Brooks or Desmond Bain. Two of those players are leaving and going to the Nets for Kevin Durant. So now you're not even the same. You're not going to the same team we see now. Because if you let go of those guys, those are guys that I don't care if you're getting Kevin Durant or not. Those are the guys that make up the nucleus of this team. And hell, you might even have to throw in a Tyus Jones in that.
Well, because you got to look, Memphis was winning. Memphis was still winning games when Morant was out. So
correct. They pushed the Warriors to the brink.
Two without Morant.
They pushed the Warriors to the brink. We was all nervous, even me. I was like, please, Warriors, you do not want this to go to a game 7 in Memphis, Morant or no Morant.
Right.
I was nervous about the Grizzlies.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. I want to go back to KD for a second. So with KD, obviously he's getting a little long in the tooth, like LeBron and all those guys. I mean, he's getting older now. So what is his window left? And do we see Durant ever back in the finals again? No matter what team, maybe is he going to get back to the finals before his playing days are done?
Hard to say that, but I know as far as his window, I think he's fine. Even though KD he has the age, you have to take into account he's missed a season, so he has an extra year that he wouldn't have had, even though it was due to injury. He has that year. So and plus with KD's type of game, he doesn't have to expend as much energy as LeBron. It's all good. Hey, I was just messing with you, my boy. Don't take it personal. I was just being a jerk because you was trying to come at my boys. My boy Tom Brady. I got nothing but love for you, my boy. But yeah, I just think KD, if he's gonna make it to the finals, honestly, we're gonna have to see KD be a better leader. That's fixable. Yeah. That's fixable. You gotta learn to open your mouth and tell people what their roles are. We know you're a great player. See, the thing is, when he went to Golden State, he didn't go to Golden State and take over. They let him take over. They said, here you go, okay. He had to get that approval. You need to go in and say, I'm the best player, bro. We ain't gonna win if I don't have the ball.
Yeah, Steph took a step back and
he stepped back. KD didn't take it. Steph stepped back.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Russell didn't step back. He pushed, Russell pushed.
Yeah, Russell did push. But that's what Russell always pushes.
And Kyrie pushes. Because if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm in Kyrie's ear. Kyrie, don't say stuff like we don't need a head coach.
Yeah.
Kyrie, come on, man. What's your real take on this vaccine? Let's talk about it. Okay, Kyrie, either you're going to be here all the way or you're going to be here none of the way. You can't be a halfway person on this team. Don't cause a distraction. See, KD didn't step up and talk to Kyrie. He told Kyrie what he wanted to hear. He didn't tell Kyrie what he needed to hear.
Yes. Being more of a yes man and just taking over.
I really felt like Durant needed to be more vocal with, Kyrie when he was not taking the vaccine or he was taking the mandatory sabbaticals and not showing up. I really felt like that was Durant's opportunity to be the leader for Kyrie, and he just didn't want to do it.
He should have stepped up to James Harden. You come to the league looking like Rob. You coming to the NBA season looking like Rob. Why you looking like me for James Harden? I don't play NBA.
But it's true, man. I mean, he just was not voicing anything. And I don't know if he just doesn't want the heat of being a leader. And maybe that's why he shies away from it. He would rather just be, maybe he's more of a passive individual. I don't know. But exactly, when you're KD or LeBron or whatever, you got to take that role on. You got to be vocal and do your part.
You do.
It is what it is. Hey, listen,
that's why I said all year that the Nets were going to have trouble because they didn't have a true leader on that team.
And the coach wasn't the leader because they didn't think they needed a coach. Look, I'd be right there. Hey, Rob, I don't know about you, but when I heard they said that they didn't need a coach and they brought in, Steve Nash, I said, when you don't think you need a coach, that for me is red flag number one, that you're not going to go anywhere. That's just my red flag. First
of all, that's just disrespectful.
Yeah, it undercuts the coach where now he's not going to get respect from the younger players.
He said Rob is shooting 66 and 44. Hey, them James Harden numbers.
They said if Rob played basketball or if somebody portrayed Rob in basketball, it would be Dak on Uncle Drew when he was afraid to shoot the 3 ball because the white boy was going to block it.
Oh no! Don't get it misconstrued. I'm a walking bucket. I got people out here in this city. But
I got
hey. Excuse my language, but when I was in school, they called me Mr. Hit That Hoe, cause I hit that hoe. So, one thing y'all always got to know: anytime you see a chubby dude on the court, it's because he can shoot the ball.
Yeah, he's a 3-pointer.
I got a little speed to me because I played football, but hold on, y'all.
All right, we got 2 topics and we're gonna get out of here, man. Hey, look, MJF, Tony Khan issues. MJF pretty much comes out and he's kind of pissed off because he feels like he's not getting paid what he's worth. Tony Khan said, I'll give you the money, but I need the extension. And basically, MJF doesn't want to give the extension. He just wants to get paid more. It feels like he likes what WWE is doing. And he, maybe he's, in 2024 when his contract's done, maybe he'll go be over with WWE and so forth. And then he feels like the money's being held out to be given to ex-WWE stars coming over to AEW. So the point, he goes into the ring and has this big blow up with Tony Khan. And that's kind of where that series was. Gonzo, what do you think about this whole Khan MJF thing? Is it scripted? Is it not scripted? What do you think about it?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, because when he's out there on that microphone, Khan's back in the back, and they can shut that microphone down anytime they want if they don't want him saying something that he's saying. So even if if he went off script, Khan must not have cared what he said. But I think MJF was smart. When he got in, he wasn't the greatest wrestler. He was a great talker. He's gotten better as a wrestler. Yes, he's underpaid for his value now, but you signed that contract. But I don't think it's more. I think it's more about he knows he's going to be a free agent next year. He's building his value up, putting pressure on Khan, letting Khan know, hey, I'll go walk over here to WWE and get paid. So I think it's more just using his leverage so he gets when his contract is up, he's going to get more money. I think that's why he don't want to sign an extension yet because he wants to see what WWE will offer him. So he don't just want to jump into an extension with AEW.
So you don't think this is Austin and McMahon 2.0? You think he still hasn't completely burned the bridge with Tony Khan and AEW, that there is still the door open for him?
I think they could work something out just because of how big a star he's going to be, that he's had the potential of being. But I do agree with some of the stuff MJF is saying. You're bringing all these WWE guys in, and you're putting your younger talent in the back burner. You got to build MJF and Wardlow and them guys up. If you just keep getting old WWE guys, you're basically just turning it into almost a WWE show.
Or you're turning into the G League for WWE.
Yeah, you're getting the guys that WWE didn't want to pay no more, and you're paying them a lot of money. Which it's fine. It's fine to get Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and them guys, but use them guys to build up your younger guys. And I just don't feel like they've done that.
I agree.
Pride is at work, Mickey. Pride is at work. So, Rob, I don't know if you follow.
I agree. Oh yes, I follow wrestling, and I saw this promo actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've always liked MJF. We talked about this on Gonzo's wrestling room. Shout out to you.
I didn't know you followed wrestling. That's good to know now.
Oh, I love wrestling. And what me, Gonzo, and his pops was talking about, I always thought that MJF is the villain you need. I compare him to something like Triple H. Like, he's the villain like you like to hate. Like, you want to hate this dude, because he gets on your nerve that much. And I actually wanted to see them push MJF. I think he has that it factor when it comes to being the bad guy. And I love the fact that he did a pipe bomb, as everybody's saying. But CM Punk wrote the playbook. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, he dropped some knowledge, as Chris alluded to. You're hiring all this WWE talent. Let's look at it. We got the Revival. You got Keith Lee, Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan. The list goes on.
Cole.
That's why everybody was so shocked. Adam Cole. And even though Adam Cole made his name on Ring of Honor, people know him from NXT. That's when he became like a household name from NXT.
That's when people
with the black and gold. Man, and I still look at Adam Cole like that. Remember, I said I feel like Adam Cole should be the champion right now. To me, he got it. Like, if you want to know what a wrestler is, that's Adam Cole.
Yeah,
he got it. But
I think AEW's in a tough situation now because MJF, with that promo and the crowd cheering him, he almost turned face.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can still market that because remember when the crowd used to cheer The Rock when he went to Hollywood Rock?
Yep.
Like, he was so much of an asshole that you liked him.
Yep.
I don't think you have to turn MJF into a baby face. I think you can still let him be a heel and he just becomes a crowd favorite of being that. Like, don't cheer for me. So I like what he said. I think it's for real because he didn't show up for the meet and greet that he was supposed to do. He showed up like literally right before the match started. From what I'm
understanding. He was actually gambling when the meet and greet was going on. He was gambling, and then he showed up for his match. And then
double or nothing.
He left.
Yeah, I heard he left right after his match.
Yeah, and you know what though? But you can't get mad at him because, like he said though, think about it. Darby Allin was making a name for himself. Orange Cassidy was starting to make a name for himself.
And they all took a step
then
back.
You start bringing all. I mean, you just brought in Jeff. You got the damn Hardy Boys in AEW, bro.
Yeah. Well, AEW was really pissed off, specifically Tony Khan, that the interviews that he did with Ariel, with Combat Sports, he did a couple of interviews with her, and they were pissed off that he didn't consult the AEW PR team before he did the interviews. So he was all pissed, been out of shape about that.
Well, he looking at it like, did you on bringing in all this WWE talent? Because I'm pretty sure they were sold $1 in a dream on how they'll be different from WWE. And we haven't really seen that much of a difference. At first, AEW did seem fresh and new. But now, sometimes you feel like WWE got a Wednesday show now. Besides NXT. So it's I think you do have to like now what they're doing with this forbidden door aspect of going against New Japan. I like it. Let New Japan come in. Let Ring of Honor come in. Let Impact Wrestling come in. Show that dynamic between all these companies. And I think wrestling could benefit more with more promotions working with each other like they did back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Speaking of WWE real quick, hey, we're gonna roll into the last topic for tonight. We're at about 2 hours. Hell in a Cell Did you catch that, Rob? I don't know. Did you catch Hell in a Cell?
I caught the aftermath. I didn't watch it while it was on. Like I said, I was watching finals. I tried to stay with you guys for the watch along, but once I saw the Warriors start going crazy in the third, I lost my mind.
Hey, you were out of there. You were
But
like, hey.
I lost my mind, especially when Jordan Poole hit the half court shot at the end of the third. But you know what? I did. I saw. I actually went back and watched the Cody Seth Rollins match.
Right.
I want to say if Cody really is, I don't know. I haven't looked to see if that's real. I'm assuming it is because now he just announced he's going to be gone for a while. Then you see the whole thing with
scheduled for surgery on Wednesday.
Yeah, so you saw the whole thing with the sledgehammer bit.
Legit. It looked pretty legit. Because I went and I Googled pictures of what torn pecs look like. And a lot of those pictures were very close to being, like what he had, and the way it was, what do you call it, the bruising was and everything.
The bruising,
yeah.
Even the next night, the bruising looked bad.
Yeah.
So
last night on Raw, did you see that where Rollins attacked him from behind,
hit him with the sledgehammer and all that stuff, and so they're trying to make Seth Rollins the new Triple H. It looks like.
And then that's
the only thing that kind of threw me off, though, with that bruising, where I thought it could be fake, was if it's a torn pec, he had bruising all the way down his bicep and tricep, and that to me was a little suspect because you don't typically see bruising down that part of the body when it's just a torn pec. So that made me kind of leery about whether it was real or not. But if they say he's going to the hospital for surgery, well, then that kind of gives validity to it.
Yeah, they said he was, from what I understand, and I think, like they said, they had a segment last night where Seth Rollins, hit him with the sledgehammer and kind of like attacked that part of his body. So you can tell they're getting ready to write him off for a while, which is crazy because I think Cody can really take the WWE to the next level because of the AEW thing. It's like, wow, now WWE has one up on AEW. You not only just took an AEW guy, you took one of the founders, you can honestly say. One of the executive vice presidents.
And you're turning him into your number one guy.
To your number one guy, you let him keep his music. You let him keep his look, his swagger. You're not trying to stardust him out like you did before. And he's getting good wins in quality matches.
Honestly, I think he was going to win the Money in the Bank if he wouldn't have got hurt.
I think so too, because when he said I'm done with Seth Rollins, I think that was his segue of saying I want to look at this title now against Roman Reigns, and I think they'll have some great title matches.
I still think that he might show up at Money in the Bank and interfere or something, somehow end up with the briefcase.
That'd be funny.
Let me just say, I really love
the briefcase for up to a year or whatever. So he could write something like that in. He could get the briefcase, get healthy, then come back and cash it in against Roman.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying. I think one of the best things I liked about WWE and Seth Rollins and the whole, that whole match with Cody Rhodes was how he wore the same outfit as Dusty wore, and a tribute to Dusty. I like that tie-in. It was just such a beautiful tie-in. I mean, it was
the legendary polka dots.
Oh yeah, they told to me that's what made that match so good was they told a story with it. They had the polka dots. Yeah. They went out and got the cowbell. They done, they done a lot of things from back. His dad done in the history of wrestling. I like the way they put that match together.
Yeah, and not to mention both of these guys can wrestle.
Yeah,
people underestimate Seth Rollins, one of them dudes.
People need to give Seth Rollins a lot of credit for how good that match was. To be able to work with an injured guy like that, take care of him, and to make it look as good as it did. He deserves a lot of credit as well.
Man, Seth Rollins, one of them guys, man. I personally didn't have a problem with Triple H wanting to push him at that one point in time when he was getting pushed. I mean, he can give you the best of both worlds. He can be a great asshole, but he can be a great good guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I love this persona, this Joker character where I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love that segment last night when he came out, shook Cody's hand, and then walked back, and he came back out. I thought Raw was good last night.
It was. I'm just excited. I want to see the bloodline come out together. So I kind of tune in now just to kind of watch to see when is Roman gonna come out with his cousins and we see all that go in the air as the fireworks go off. I have to say, whoever changed Roman Reigns' entrance music did a hell of a job. It's like when you hear that entrance music, you think Final Boss.
Yeah.
No, back to Hell in a Cell. I thought it was a pretty good show. I really I enjoyed watching Hell in a Cell. The first match, that triple threat between the women, was a great match.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Shout out to the fact that they're running with Bianca Belair. I like Bianca. I think she has some swagger. She's amazing in the ring. I mean, that girl is strong as hell.
I think her and Ripley at Money in the Bank is going to be good.
Oh my God. Oh, with Ripley, speaking of Judgment Day, with the whole turn on Edge, and now Finn Balor is the leader.
You know why they're doing that now, don't you?
I think Edge just needs time off.
I think they done it because they're going to kind of push Edge as their big baby face while Cody's out.
You think so?
They need somebody to take Cody's spot until he gets back. I think that's why they took Edge off that group. So I don't think their plan was to break him off that group this quick.
I like that. I actually like, because I feel like they haven't done Finn Balor right.
Yeah,
they need to do right by Finn Balor.
And Finn
Balor was that dude in New Japan
before, so he knows he's been.
Yeah, Bullet Club, one of the biggest groups.
Yes.
He ran the Bullet Club, so as Prince Devitt. So, hey Jay, in case you didn't know, boy, I love wrestling, bro. I've been watching it since a kid. Man. Like my grandma always say, like, man, I remember, you'll be sitting there on your granddad's lap watching it, and I remember my mom ordered me all the pay-per-views growing. I just never fell out of love with it. They tell great stories.
I think the best episode of the Gonzo's Wrestling Room we had was that one that was me robbing my dad.
Great time, man. I can't wait to come back because when you talk to wrestling fans, especially like I've been to a wrestling event, dude, like wrestling will have complete strangers in there just having nostalgia moments. Like, dude, I remember this, or man, you see, and you just become friends. Like wrestling is, I call it the male. I call it the male soap opera. It's our daytime story.
It is. Hey, no, listen. Wrestling is a male daytime soap opera because, and I say that, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a rip or anything. It's just there's so many storylines behind it that if you don't know all the storylines, it's really hard to talk to somebody about wrestling. I'm still kind of learning myself when you don't know all the stories and all the dialogues. And it's hard. It's hard because you feel like you missed it.
Yeah,
I love like sometimes you miss an episode of Raw and you like I don't know what's going on.
Well, we streamed live from a car show this weekend, and we took a break about midway through to go get food and stuff. And I replayed that podcast, the wrestling podcast you was on, which I replayed it during that. There was people out there comment. I came back with my food. There's people out there commenting about the wrestling talk.
Hey, I'm serious, man, because it's such a rich history. You look at certain families that's famous in wrestling, like the Guerrero family, of course, the Anoa'i family. The Rhodes family, the Flair family. So you start to it's a rich history, and you respect it, and you respect the superstars that's been brought up due to wrestling. You understand the concept of it being a fixed fight, but I look at it more as it's a work of art, because what you have to do is put on such a violent match, but throughout this match, I have to protect you. I have to make sure no real violence comes to you. Yeah, you might get punched in the face and things like that, but I'm trying to keep you from getting paralyzed. I'm trying to keep you from taking a real bad bump. So, you look at it from that aspect of you have to be athletic to be a wrestler, because I have to essentially put on a fake fight. I have to make this look so real, but yet make sure both of us are able to walk out of this with all of our faculties. So I love it. I thought about that, Damien. I'm actually glad you. But I'm thinking about MJF. I don't know the contract situation, but like I was like, what if he shows up for Money in the Bank?
I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, and I think he could be a big. I think he'd be a big star in WWE.
Oh, without a doubt.
What day is Money in the Bank on? When does that happen?
That's the next pay-per-view.
July. I want to say July 2nd.
Yeah, it's the next pay-per-view. So that's why they're already starting to promote it. We know right now we're just gonna see a string of matches, see who's gonna be in the Money in the Bank match. So
the matches are always fun to watch, Jay. It's usually five or six people, and they hang the briefcase above the ring, and you gotta get up on a ladder to get it. They beat the hell out of each other with the ladder and stuff. They're always pretty entertaining matches.
I've also heard some rumors that Bray Wyatt could make a return.
Yep. My dad actually thought he might come back at Hell in a Cell, but there's rumors that he's coming back.
Yeah, so and I don't know if he's coming back as the Fiend, but I trust Bray Wyatt. Whatever they just have to give him more creative power.
Yeah,
like you cannot cage a mind that thinks they're creative because he made the Fiend work. No, I didn't think that was gonna work, and he made it work, and it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
you know, and I actually wanted to see the whole aspect of him and Alexa Bliss and how that dynamic will work out. And then they just stopped.
With that, if they just stayed with that and let him keep being being the Fiend and let him do the creative.
Yeah,
not saying that he's the Undertaker, but he could have turned into that kind of character.
Yeah,
where it just kept building. You could.
They had
the opportunity with him.
You could, and I think that's one of the problems with WWE, where sometimes I could be inconsistent watching it. I might see a Raw or the SmackDown. I'm like, next week I can miss it because I'm like, it didn't really do anything for me. So I want to get back to that point, man, when we was watching the and I know it's gonna be hard, but like watching the Austin Rock era, or just that Attitude era, where like you had to watch it,
or when
you had to watch it.
Or when you had the Monday Night Wars going on Monday.
Yeah, man.
Everybody was waiting on Monday to get there, and everybody was watching, flipping back and forth, seeing what was
going on. Man. I would watch Raw and then flip back over just to see what the NWO, because the NWO, man, that's just my favorite faction of all time.
I was in high school at that time, and my dad would have two TVs. He'd have both TVs in the living room. One had Nitro, and one would have Raw. We'd watch both shows.
Hey, I was an NWO head to my heart, bro. I thouot they was the coolest things to slice bread, bro. Like they had the swagger, Scott Hall, 6 pot. Hey, that was my dude.
You know why my son's name is Austin?
Hey, Stone Cold. Hey, people forget. I ain't talking about regular Stone Cold. I'm talking about with the link chain and the hoop earring. Bring back that Austin.
Stunning Steve.
Hey, Stone Cold, man, used to crack me up, boy. That was my dude, man. I'd like to talk one day about maybe our Mount Rushmore of wrestling. We should talk about that.
Yeah, that was that's why I named my son Austin after Stone Cold. It would have been, if there wasn't already 2 Steves in my family, it would have been Steve. It would have been Steve. Probably been Steve Austin Gonzales.
I ain't mad at you, man. Stone Cold made it cool to drink beer. Drink beer, and flipping the bird.
Yep. And punching your boss in the face.
Oh my God!
No, but he was doing what most people wish they could do.
I'm telling you. I think that's why so many people was watching wrestling. We was living vicariously through Stone Cold. Like, I wish I could go to work and stun on my boss.
I wish I go to work tomorrow and just punch my boss in the face.
and tell him, give me a hell yeah.
But Rob, what did you think of that Cody and Rollins match? I thought they put on
it was good.
A hell of a match.
They did. But both of those guys can wrestle. They're great performers, as you mentioned. They told a great story. And I think the injury, even though it was bad for Cody, added more to the story.
You got the fans now. They even got the fans more involved in it.
Yeah.
Jacket.
Yeah,
I watched last night with sound on because I had the sound off doing the watch along. But you can hear like the air just leave the building when he took his jacket off. People couldn't believe
because you're like, oh snap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for him to. First of all, kudos to him for being able to not only have the match, but perform well in the match and to finish the match. I know that couldn't have been.
The match too. That's crazy.
that couldn't have been easy. And again, shout out to Seth Rollins for not really hurting him. So I think it was a 5-star match. Honestly, like I know Meltzer likes to rate his matches. I think that would have to be a 5-star match like that.
That dude's nuts.
But you know what though? Sometimes he has a great point.
Sometimes he makes some points, but I like listening to Jim Cornette. You were talking about how the guy is crazy.
Yeah, Jim Cornette, man. Oh my God.
You ever listen to any of his podcasts?
I have.
I love listening to his podcast. He's nuts.
So Gonzo, what grade would you give Hell in a Cell if you were grading it?
I was actually talking to my dad about that last night. I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you as well.
I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 matches in the middle that were kind of not too bad, but the overall matches, the first match, the last match, and the middle matches. I mean, I think it really carried the weight, and I think they put it together really well. I really like that last match. Like I said, the storyline and how they tied in Dusty and all that. I mean, it was phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, I honestly think the Rollins Dusty Cody Rhodes match, I think that kind of to me saved Hell of a Cell from being just an average show. It kind of made it a little above average. So I actually don't mind seeing them wrestle again once he gets healthy. I love to see that match. I'm here for it. I feel like when you find a good feud, you kind of got to stick with it. So, but overall, to me, this is just a testament to the talent. WWE has talent on their roster. They just have to know what to do with it. That's all.
Yep.
So, final thoughts, folks. We're at the end of the show. About 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's been a hot minute since whiskey. I was saying my whole show. Since Unscripted this long, and it's like I said, it's been a fun show.
Damien's birthday.
Hey Jay, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Damien, they brought the bull rope in. That was another homage back to Dusty Rhodes, because Dusty Rhodes used to have a bunch of bull rope matches with that cowbell. That went back to just another thing back to Dusty Rhodes.
Oh yeah. Oh, American Dream.
I love Jay. Since he came out, I saw, oh my God, he's in the polka dots. I was loving it.
And man, I'm googling to see what Dusty Rhodes looked like in it, and it was pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Rob, final thoughts, brother.
As always, we want to keep the conversation going. Free Britney. As Jay would say, free the rest of our American people over there locked up, and bring them all home. Let the Americans come back to U.S. soil. And you know me, I got to be a jerk. I'm sorry, Pride, but Lakers in 5.
Hey, my final thoughts as well.
I was saying Warriors in 5. My bad, not Lakers.
Man, I'm gonna let you roll with it. And I got Warriors in 6, but if they do it in 5, hey, I'm not mad at you. But again, like to echo Rob, free Britney, bring her home, and again, all the other Americans that are over there behind her, bring them home as well. It's time that we start bringing home our people that are over there, for those reasons. And I don't care if you got to Bruce SEAL Team 6. It's time to start putting some muscle behind the hustle. So, hey, look, man, if the Russians can invade Ukraine, we can invade Russia. It's time to do what we got to do.
We at least need to put some pressure on them to get our people back home.
Yeah, I think, man, with all the shootings that's been going on in the war and people talking about gas prices, it's so easy for things to get lost in translation and for people to forget what's not trending. So, we want to just keep her name out there. I like what the WNBA is doing by making sure they continue to bring awareness to Britney's situation, and hopefully, a resolution can be found where she gets to come home, So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, man, I got to be honest with you, man. We are definitely in difficult times. Not only with, having Britney over there, but, with the things going on in Ukraine, with the mass shootings, with gas prices. I mean, I got to be honest with you, man.
Gas prices keep going up. We're going to my wife's going to have to start walking to work.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know where you guys are at. I know you guys are pretty rough out there in Illinois. I know right now we're about 485, 469, somewhere around there.
Boy, we at about $6 a gallon, my boy.
We're at 535.
Man, listen, I never thought myself as a walker, but I have literally contemplated the meaning of life now with gas prices to the point where I say to myself, Jay, I got to go to Walmart. And Walmart's at least about 4 miles down the road. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, but I got to go to Richmond Hill tomorrow, and that's about 20 miles down the road. So let me just get my ass out there and start walking to save the gas for the big trip. That's how you know when gas prices are rough. And when you got to take out a loan to pay for your gas tank. I'm just saying it's a little crazy.
No, we canceled the trip this weekend because we're like, man, we really don't have the gas. We really don't have the money for the gas. We need to save that to get through the week for you get.
All right, I'm gonna ask one final question. Do you guys? Let me ask you this question. Do you look? They don't expect gas prices to come down until probably the fall. And even when they come down in the fall, nobody knows how far they're going to come down. At some point, if it gets to a point, are we going to start writing as human beings and saying we're not taking it? I mean, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know some people have been trying to make the argument, like, you know, and I've seen the numbers. Like, yeah, you know, as far as countries go, we're not the worst when it comes to gas. But you also got to think about it. These other countries have accommodations. They got free healthcare and things like that. Things where you got a little extra money to pay extra gas. Not to mention minimum wage in the United States sucks, especially Chicago, Illinois. So, you know, if you're going to raise gas, you got to raise the cost of living. You can't give me the same check and give me more bills.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. And it's times like this where I really envy, you know, places like Washington, D.C., I guess in this case, Chicago, New York, where, you know, no matter what the gas price does, you know, you still have trains or something you can ride to help reduce
it. Hey, gas might be $6 a gallon, but I get a 7-day for a dub.
Exactly. And that's my point. And I think at some point, all of us are going to have to start looking at electric and possibly going electric. That's the only way I think we can get around the high gas prices, to be honest with you. It's going to be crazy. All right, folks. Again, we're at the end of the show. I'll give one last comment. I see one just came in.
Gonzo got to give his final thoughts.
Oh, I thought Gonzo went. Gonzo, final thoughts, baby.
Oh, shit. These dudes, if you're not watching a hockey game, turn it over there. They're beating the fuck out of each other.
Oh, they fighting?
Oh, yeah, they're fighting, dude. And they're throwing. The one dude's helmet's off.
That's one of the reasons I like hockey.
They're going at it. I turned it over there because the Reds game is in rain delay. So I turned it over to the hockey playoffs, the Rangers and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's up 1-0 in the second. And Tampa Bay guy just beat the hell out of that guy from the Rangers.
Sometimes it be like that.
But no, my final thoughts, same as you guys. Let's get our people home from Russia. And then, hey, go Reds. We're actually playing some good ball right now. Hopefully,
there you go.
Hopefully we can keep it going. Hey, you can see I wear my Red stuff no matter what. If it's game day, I usually have something Cincinnati on.
Hey, don't worry. I still got my Bulls hat on standby. You know, it's still Bulls Nation, but I see red, but right now I'm seeing gold.
I think
Rob's the only guy I know that has Golden State on the front of his jersey and Chicago on the back. I'll never understand.
But guess what? I wear that as a badge. I wear that as a badge of honor. And if Steph Curry ever came and played for the Bulls, that'd be a double whammy.
Hey man, I'm waiting for the day that we free all the hate towards the Cowboy fans. Look, y'all gotta start showing some damn love to the Cowboy fans, man. Damn. All right, hey man, thank you, Pride, for coming in off his work time, and Rob Scott for coming in and defending his honor. We finally got the debate that I was waiting for last week, and Chris Gonzo Gonzales and Gonzo Sports Room, prideful takes for Pride. And Rob's 2 cents. You can catch him on Facebook. Again, another story for Unscripted. We'll see you guys next time on the ASAP Sports Network, Unscripted. We will see you Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And, yeah, man, let's talk about that Warriors game on Thursday. Rob, get your ass back on, 7 p.m. Eastern. And,
I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Hey, until next time,
I'll
it's Jay McLovin. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, you have one last thing? What?
I can tell you after we go off air because they don't have.
Yeah, nobody gets to name about the Reds, but okay.
Hey, y'all, we gone, baby.
All right, man, we're out of here. Y'all have a good one.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush. Cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got wealth. But I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet. Then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere. You wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering. Cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite, that's alright. Not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks. Can't keep me out cause I pick locks.